Yeah.
Right.
Are we
I
live?
believe we're live. It says we're live. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Emergency Hedge. This is the show where Jessica teaches me Netrunner.
And Dave teaches me Arkham Horror.
It's great to be back with you. It's not been a week, which is nice.
Yeah, it's not. We saw some of our beloved viewers and presumably some new people who maybe are back with us tonight on Saturday when we commentated the East Anglia Championships.
And hopefully they saw us.
Yes, more to the point, they saw us. They definitely didn't see us. They heard us.
No, that's true. That is true.
It's very important to be right about this specific.
Sometimes they heard us at times when they shouldn't have.
That's true. I think this time I managed to not insult any like high standing members of the community as I possibly have in the past.
Yeah, it's a good thing that our pre-broadcast chat was somewhat adenine that time.
Yeah.
Cool. You able to just check whether we're audible and visible?
Yeah, I was just waiting for the link to come
site.
up, so I don't see it quite yet.
Oh, I think it's up now. Shall I? How about I check?
Ah, there we go. I can check.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. There we go. That's the chuckle I recognise. Cool. You able to just check whether we're audible and visible?
Yeah.
So I had a lot of fun on Saturday commentating. It was hard work talking for that long and trying to be interesting to listen to for that long, but I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we definitely lost our minds a little bit towards the end.
Yes, but I think that was I hope that was charming as opposed to embarrassing to watch.
I feel it's part of the brand at this point.
Yeah,
and
yeah, definitely.
Like, we did still commentate on Netrunner, and we covered all the important plays, I think. But we also included a lot of silliness when it was necessary. Sometimes it's necessary silliness.
Yeah, I did get a quick mention on the Drawn to the Flame podcast that came out this week, which was very, very nice and very flattering. But it was also quite funny because Frank, who hadn't seen the broadcast, was talking about how impressive it was to be able to recognise all those cards with in shiny sleeves and with different art.
Yeah.
And although I think we did a good job, I don't think it was quite as impressive as it might have been in Frank's head. I'm a bit sad I'm not going to Worlds, because if I was, I would get Tucana printed on a t-shirt just for the occasion.
Why Tucana specifically?
Because I think on that broadcast I failed to recognise it at least 4 times, if not 5. Yeah, I think maybe the last time that was like I really made a song and dance about it was a period where you'd hopped off for a couple of minutes towards the end. But yeah, I failed to recognise it again, and it was like, a repeated occasion.
Yeah, we had lots of like difficulties in terms of people. Lots of people brought their lovely alt arts, which we strongly support people doing. It's one of the wonderful things about games. There's so much gorgeous art out there of all the cards, but it did make it rather difficult, even for like quite a seasoned player, to identify all of them. Luckily we had Not Yeti and Cobra Bubbles on the ground helping us out with card hints.
Yeah. Were you there at the part where Not Yeti was like trolling me with the card overlay? I think that might have also been like that little solo bit that I was doing.
I don't think I was there for that. I think they might have done something kind of similar to me. Like, they definitely trolled me a bit when you were away.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good. Okay. It was really good. I said, I think I saw a card and I said, "Is there a dinosaur on that card?" Or something like that.
Oh no, I was there for that bit, and then they put Dinosaurus up.
They put and they said they put the card up that it was, and I was like, "Oh, silly me! There's obviously no dinosaurs in Netrunner," and then they put Dinosaurus up on the screen.
Amy, who's my lovely new friend who I met yesterday, has said hi in the chat. Say hello, Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Nice to meet you.
Good to have you with us.
See you even. Do we want to talk any more about the East Anglia Championships next? Is there anything else that we want to mention?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I
10
think,
out of 10 would do again is kind of
yeah,
the
I
only
think
thing I
so.
want to say about it. And
Absolutely. And huge thank you to Cobra Bubbles and Not Yeti for setting it up so that we could do it. It was
yeah,
the tech work they did was absolutely incredible and really made it. I
yeah,
think it's one of the few emergency hedge streams we've had where there hasn't been some major technical snafu at some point or
yeah.
other.
Yeah, and by dint of being a 10-hour stream has massively dragged up our average of time without technical failures. So,
And
great
our
work,
average of
guys.
viewers as well. Like it's by far our most viewed.
Yeah, by quite a substantial margin. We should
Yeah.
also, while we're giving props, we should give props to Alex, who did, I think, a lot of the technical work on the overlay,
Yeah.
which was really lovely.
Fantastic.
In other news,
In other news,
I think you've been playing some Arkham without me, Jessica.
I have.
Tell me.
I currently play Arkham 3 times a week. You've gotten me thoroughly addicted to
Nice.
Arkham. Most recently, I played Arkham with my son, Josh, and we finished Night of the Zealot on, I want to say Sunday. Yeah, I want to say Sunday that we finished Night of the Zealot together. And it was my first Night of the Zealot win. And it came like outright win because I think you and I won by feeding the monster Lita Chandler.
No, we didn't actually. We skipped it. We played The Gathering. We played Midnight Masks, and then I suggested that we could skip The Devourer Below and just start playing something else. So we played Innsmouth.
Whoa, I have a really strong false memory of playing that with you in that case.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we've discussed it before, but I'm 99% certain that we have not played it together.
I will believe you because my memory is garbage. But I also I have that false memory and another false memory of playing the campaign again with someone else. And whilst I was playing that campaign, remembering playing it with you and therefore using knowledge that I had from the
Wow.
first playthrough.
Wow.
Well, I mean, regardless, whether we played it or not, we didn't win because my memory says that we didn't win and
That
your
is
memory says
true.
we didn't
Yeah,
play.
both of us concur on that point.
So there's possible spoilers for Night of the Zealot if you've not played it. There are a number of ways of completing Night of the Zealot. One of which is to throw one of your comrades to the awful monster, which is the only way that I previously not won but not lost that campaign. And this time, Josh and I managed to just in time stop the thing from spawning.
Ah, cool. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Stopping it from spawning
Yeah,
does help with dealing with it. The throwing Lita to the monster, by the way, is lovingly referred to by the community as the Lita Chandler ending.
yeah, that's the only one I'd had before.
Yeah,
Um,
it's good. I think there are certainly criticisms to be made of that as a scenario, which is partly why I suggested that we didn't bother with it. We skipped on to Innsmouth.
yeah,
But I think it does prepare you for the fact that the game's going to absolutely kick you in the teeth sometimes,
yeah,
and brutalize you in a way that feels often quite unfair.
yeah.
And
I,
also that it's got quite a sick sense of humor that one of the wins is actually the slightly intense lady who's been helping you for the whole campaign and actually really comes and saves your ass at the beginning when the Ghoul Priest is bearing down on you. The way to complete the scenario is to feed her to an ancient one and run away.
yeah,
But it's been a while since I looked at it. But the narrative of the 3-story campaign, I think, is that a lot of it's her fault. I think she's been rousing up the ghouls
yeah.
by disturbing their feeding grounds. So in a way, she did kind of have it coming.
In a way, she did. Yeah, I agree. She did kind of have it coming, but she interfered with things beyond her understanding, and then those things beyond her understanding came and interfered
Hater.
with her back. But there's a strong argument to be made that she was right to do so because the ghouls are eating people, and there is like an evil cult and all of that sort of stuff. What was it? A couple of things were very, very exciting about that scenario for
Tell me.
me. Well, one was that we won on what I'm fairly certain was the last possible turn that we could have won. The monster was about to big bad was about to spawn, and we were both low enough. Yeah,
it's okay not to be able to pronounce a Lovecraftian monster, but I believe if you try it, something along those lines.
It's pronounced in a way that's beyond human comprehension, I believe. So we were both low enough on health that like one hit from anything would have killed us, and it hits like an absolute steam train. And Josh and I, after a lot of negotiation, and me saying I'm fairly certain if this thing spawns that we lose this campaign. So we have to put everything into trying to get the clues and put them on the agenda this turn. So he bravely put himself in a situation where if we had failed, he would have died next turn regardless, because or like died at the end of the turn. And just like took a bunch of attacks opportunity to investigate and get clues on the agenda. And we won not quite on the last possible action, but on the last possible turn. It was really exciting and really fun. And the other thing that I feel really excited about is that like afterwards, Josh was clearly in love with the game, like deeply in love with this game, and very excited. So, like wanted to talk about what campaign we're going to play next, and we have decided we're going to play Carcosa next.
Oh wow!
So we decided that we should play something that neither of us have played before. And he's gonna go away and make his own deck. And for the first time, I'm insisting that we include that. I'm insisting on a taboo list because my son can build a deck. My son will break a game like that.
He plays a lot of Magic, right?
He plays a fair bit of Magic. He's played some other similar card games. This is the kid who, when he first played Animal Crossing, within about an hour or so, had worked out like a way of exploiting the economy within Animal Crossing to fuck over his friends and like min-max Animal Crossing.
For a minute, I thought you were going to say he found a way to defeat Tom Nook, but that's like not possible. That's beyond.
You cannot defeat capitalism. You can't defeat capitalism. No. Yeah, and he agreed that like he said he would prefer to have the taboo list on because then he doesn't need to worry that he will be breaking the game in some way. He can just go as hard as he wants.
Do you know what you're both going to be playing for Carcosa?
No. So he played Roland and I played Daisy during this campaign.
Yeah.
So I might play a rogue because I'm about to play a mystic in our that's this Sunday. On Sunday I'm going to sometime between now and Sunday I'm going to put together a mystic deck and play a mystic in my Lou campaign with my friend Lou. And that will mean that the only archetype I've not played as is rogue. So I might well play as a rogue.
Are you going to use a restricted card pool or the full shebang?
I think what we agreed on was full shebang taboo list.
Yeah.
Unless you like, do you have some strong advice on that?
No, I mean, Mystic and Rogue are both more tricky propositions with a smaller card pool, particularly with the early card pool. Rogue particularly didn't really get into its stride until about three campaigns in. No, I think that's worth doing. If you have particular investigators in mind, I'm happy to give you a steer on whether I think they're a good pick for a first bash at the class.
I have no idea what I'm going to do. Yeah, I will. All of my mental energy at the moment is kind of caught up in thinking about worlds and getting there and playing in worlds, which do you like the segue I did there, Dave?
I love it. Yeah, and I was thinking what a pro move that was.
Yeah. And then I called it out like an absolute amateur. Yeah. So this time next week I will be in Spain. I won't have played any Netrunner yet, but I will be in the country let me see what time it is. either in the Airbnb or at like a little cocktail lounge or something. We were thinking we might do
Mm-hmm.
on Thursday night. Yeah, I've settled on my corp deck, and I've probably settled on my runner deck.
Cool.
A week out, you'd hope so, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What I've decided to do is I do not know this meta very well,
Mm-hmm.
and I just seem to be extremely bad at playing corp in this meta. I just don't seem to be good at it, and I don't fancy my chance of overcoming that in the next week. And so I thought, what have I enjoyed playing most while I've been playing Netrunner? And the answer is Jinteki PE. That is the ID that I have enjoyed playing the most.
Yeah.
And so I've net decked and tweaked a Jinteki PE traps and other nasty things deck off the internet, which I think was originally Diogene's deck and has gone through various iterations. And I am going to play like my own slight twist on it. I do not think this deck can win worlds. I absolutely don't think it can. I think it's high enough variance that it will win some games, possibly even some games against really good players. I just thought it would be really funny to do the following thing, which is to take a basic bitch traps deck to the World Championship of Netrunner and sit there with a fake twirly moustache on, twirling my moustache and laughing at people when they walk into my traps in as obnoxious a way as possible. Now, the thinking behind this is twofold. One, I just think it's very funny. Two, I think this deck does worst when you run absolutely everything that the corp puts on the table. And I think if I'm annoying enough about it when people run into my traps, they will be psychologically discouraged from like running the snare that I put on the table or whatever. And yeah, that is my plan.
So you're planning to annoy people into not running your traps?
Yeah, and or conceding. This deck is very good at annoying people into conceding on JNet, and I'm assuming it will be the same at the World Championship of Netrunner. I don't see why it would be any different.
It's a shame, really, that JNet doesn't have twirly moustaches on his profile pictures. I think. I would say at the outset how much I am in favour of this plan. It's considerably better than Tucana t-shirts.
I am going to declare that my name's Joculatrix, and I have created an incredible web of pain and traps for my enemies, and do it all in a kind of like sort of slightly edgy, like Saw Joker-esque kind of way, which I think in equal measure, some people I think will love it and will find it fucking hilarious, and then some people I am convinced will absolutely hate it, and I find that equally funny. There are some people who will get very frustrated. This is what's going on at the World Championships.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We've already had a conversation about how you're going to be too busy at Worlds to stream, and I would like to revisit that. And I demand, and our public demand, that Joculatrix is that the name? Joculatrix comes on stream.
Word for a female jester, which I found out this week, and I was like, okay, well, I have to use that.
That's great.
Whereas it sounds like some sort of bespoke sex worker, but like.
That's very ridiculous. Very good. Do you have anything? Do you know what you're going to play for a runner? I don't dare to hope that there's a bit connected to your runner as well.
Well, I mean, I'm probably just going to play Arasana.
Yeah, fair.
I quite like Arasana. I wish there was like a runner bit that I could do as well. The only possible thing I might switch to Essa, because I still know Essa really well, and it's not as difficult to play as Arasana is by a million miles.
Yeah,
and I think it's like we saw on Saturday. Lots of people were playing Essa. Lots of people were doing decently well with Essa.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I was going to say that I thought one of the merits of taking Jinteki PE is it kind of keeps the runners honest. But if you're doing it mostly for jokes and to twirl your moustache and play mind games, maybe that's not such a justifiable reason anymore.
It keeps your opponent honest, did you say?
Well, so I think that the role of that strategy in the game is, I've got a thought here, and I'm not going to articulate it very well, which is great that I'm doing it live on YouTube.
Cool.
But I hope it's a good point, or like a reasonable point. So I think strategy in the game is to.
You've gone silent for me.
Oh,
Dave.
have I?
I think I know why that is, though.
Do you? My computer just said I had an encoding overload, so I don't know whether that's connected. Hey, Jessica, you there? Oh no, not again. Has your microphone disconnected? Is it that? Wow, so I'm going to try and explain my Hey, there we go. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me out of interest, Dave?
Yeah, I
You can
can.
hear me.
Okay.
I think I know what it is.
Can you hear me?
It's done this before.
It looks to me like Discord isn't picking up my speaking though. I have a little thing around my window. Amy, on the off chance that you're still watching, or indeed anyone else watching, am I audible? Do tell. Can I articulate my thoughts about Jinteki PE alone whilst technical issues happen in the background? Who knows? I'll have a crack. So I think that the role that strategy plays is in creating a broad disincentive for highly aggressive running strategies and a balance to highly aggressive running strategies. And it's really important facet of the game and a really important sort of force to be present in the meta. But my impression is that it generally isn't overwhelmingly powerful strategy compared to other strategies. So that's why I was saying that I think Jinteki P keeps runners honest. Right, I'm just going to pop. Okay, looks like Jessica's coming back. Let's see whether we're both audible this time.
Is there any chance that the problem's at your end, Dave? Because
I think
I've got
I'm beginning to think
things.
it might be now. Yeah.
And I've restarted Discord.
Yeah.
Like other stuff makes sound for me.
Yeah.
So I'm now wondering if there's some problem at your end.
Let me pop off and pop back on again.
I probably shouldn't leave the call, or I think. Can you say something, Dave?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Awesome, that's cool. Okay, let me just sort out. My head's slightly the wrong size. Let's try like that.
My head's always been slightly the wrong size. So I don't think it's your fault.
Well, I don't know whether this was even audible on stream, but I had a crack at articulating my thought about Jinteki PE that I was about to say. So I think that it's that strategy's role in the balance of the game is as a counterweight to highly aggressive run strategies, and both in terms of chewing through a deck and also in terms of breaching all the things, stealing, trashing all the things, looking at all the things, that kind of approach. And it's really important to have that countervailing force in the meta, but as a strategy to outright win, it's my impression is it's rarely, if ever, been the most powerful or even amongst the most powerful. So that's why I said that I think having it there keeps runners honest.
I think I agree with what you've just said. I also think that it exists because there is a certain point in every player's like netrunner evolution quite early on, usually, where they look at personal evolution, grab a load of traps, grab every card they can find that says trap on it, and sit across from an opponent, effectively doing the twirly moustache thing that I plan to do at Worlds. Like, that for me is part of the joke, that like, yes, you did do this at one point. It was childish then, and it's childish now when I'm doing it. And we're all obviously better players, but like, if you're such a good player, come on, like, come to Joculatrix's House of Pain and try and find my traps and my agendas. And every agenda is also a trap. And yeah, I think it exists in the game because I'm going to say the really bitchy thing that came to my head as a way of saying this. Not everyone has to be good at this game to have fun with it. And I think being able to throw together a PE deck that is going to hurt the runner if they interact with it, no matter what, is like kind of positive. It means there's something that new players can always do when they're learning the game. And that is partly why I'm falling back on it. I know I'm not very good at Corp right now. And I think I would have, like, this will be fun. This is a way of me having fun, like, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
And winning some games. It's not a 0 skill deck. It's actually quite a high skill deck. But it's also like, the reason it cannot win Worlds is twofold. One, it does fold to like just really good running. If you're really good at running, you will beat this. You will have, like, not every time, but a lot of the time you will beat this. The other reason is because once you get to top cut, the deck list is open.
Yes.
And this kind of list just falls apart when the deck lists are open, which I think is a real shame, because I do think that this is a valid way to play Netrunner. And this entire, like, bluff, what is it, like, thinking 7 levels deep type Netrunner doesn't exist in the same way in the top cut of any competition ever. And we never get to see these, like, amazing bluff, well, not never, but we more rarely get to see these amazing bluff plays, because opponents just know what they're what's in each other's decks. And yeah, it makes it all a lot harder.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way around that though. Either. Like, I think that
I've thought of a way around it.
Oh yeah.
So,
shall I make the point I was going to make, and then you can tell me why I'm wrong?
Sorry.
No, it's good. That sounded more bristly than it was meant to. I just thought it'd be interesting.
I think whatever you've got to say will be interesting.
Oh, bless you. No, because my understanding is the purpose of sharing deck lists is to even out the field, so that, well, like if a player in the top cut is part of, for example, a testing group with lots of friends, or they've just got lots of friends in the competition, the knowledge that they can pick up from hearing about people's deck lists from other players who have played against those decks is leveled out versus someone who doesn't have those social resources to call upon.
Yeah, and to prevent scouting.
Yeah.
You're still not allowed to scout, but the fact that they do this makes scouting much less useful.
Is that a strategy of running in the tournament just to gather information for another player?
So, I mean, there are a few different versions of scouting. You can have a friend just go and spectate games and be like, that's what this person's on. I've seen these cards in their list, blah, blah, blah. And like, up until the cut, that is still a viable thing you can do. You can also do it yourself. Like, you finish your game and you go and scout someone else's deck whilst you're waiting for the next game to start. Or indeed, like, you know that you're going to see this player again later in the game, you write down what's in their deck. You've now got information that makes you better than the field, and it makes things unfair. Here's what I would do, because that's a legitimate concern.
Tell me.
I would still print deck lists up to the top cut. I would allow a second secret deck to be submitted when you enter the top cut. and you can play with the deck list that's published or the second secret deck, and you can change them game to game, however much you want. Maybe it would be really obvious that you change. Maybe like the second secret deck would have a completely different ID. That I think would be fine. But I think what would be more likely is that you would, in this case, you would change a few of the traps in your PE deck. And the important point is it would take away certainty for runners. It would take away that certainty that they, or and corps for that matter, of like knowing what your opponent is on. Because I think that uncertainty is a fundamental part of the netrunner experience, right up until the top level, and then it's like, oh, we're not playing netrunner how people normally play netrunner anymore. We're playing a slightly different game.
Yeah. I think again, for a lot of people who are in testing groups, they are often playing against decks that they know intimately.
This is true.
And shaping strategies against them.
This is true.
Amy has said lots of things in our chat.
That she has.
We were apparently both audible throughout that rigmarole, so we just couldn't hear each other. That's funny. That's really amusing.
Really weird.
So who knows what's going on there? So that means, right, okay. I think, again, for a lot of people who are I couldn't hear you, but my computer could hear you and was broadcasting your audio to YouTube.
That's very interesting.
Really weird.
Really weird.
Okay, well, let's not dwell on that. And you also said something about a DBZ red deck, which I think is probably relates to a game that I'm not familiar with.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yep.
Amy is a big player of games similar to this, though not this specific. So maybe we'll see if we can create a convert of her, although she's not going to see us playing Netrunner tonight, sadly.
No, that's true. Any other matters before we dive in? We're playing Arkham tonight.
I think let's play some Arkham.
Should we just crack straight on with it? Yeah. We have some unfinished business with Ice and Death Part 3.
I'm excited.
And let me just click over to TTS. So we will partly see the scenario. It's our third time here now. To the front. Please tell me I haven't gone quiet again.
Something I'm low-key hoping is, because Amy is a person who I see in real life, I'm hoping Amy will like the look of Arkham so much that I end up adding a fourth Arkham game to. I'm slowly blocking out all other activities until my life is just an endless stream of games of Arkham with various different social groups.
I have really mixed feelings about that, Jessica, because on one hand, I'm really happy for you and everyone you play with. And on the other hand, I'm slightly wistful at the thoughts of sharing the new experiences you're going to have together. So, like, I have really mixed feelings about it. Like, you and Josh playing Carcosa together, you're going to have so much fun. It's like, it's a great, it has a really good rep in the community, and deservedly so. But yeah. I'm sorry that I won't get to see your face on a number of story beats in that campaign.
You'll get to hear a lot of stuff related back on this stream.
I hope so. I think that's the least I can demand.
And maybe if we can work out the logistics of it, we can have a game of you and me and Josh possibly on stream. Well, he seems to love it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm absolutely convinced I've created a little Arkham addict in a few games together, which
fantastic. Well, you know, of all the roles that I wanted to play in your son's life, supplier of contraband to feed his addictions is probably high up the list. So that's great. If he would be keen on that, I think that might be fun. Let's bear that in mind. But that's not what we're doing today. Today we are once again stumbling around our little, now quite familiar playground of places that all have like insert name for synonym for cold, insert synonym for shit place as their names. I am in the Frigid Cave. you are in the icy wastes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, currently I'm waiting in the lobby to get invited to the game.
Oh, Jessica. Let's do that right now.
I'm in the
Let's do that
frigid
right
lobby.
now. Frigid lobby. Do you now have my invitation?
I do. Yeah.
Yes. You are in the icy wastes. Well, you're joining the game now. And we have a seeping nightmare who is seeping monstrosities from the snow groves. We have a skittering nonsense up in Icebreaker Landing that's coming your way. We have 2 Eidolons underneath the seeping nightmare. I have a number of unpleasant things in my face. I have a skittering nonsense that I have mind controlled with my power words, and I have a glacial phantasm which I have not mind controlled with anything. I'm nearly dead. We've had long conversations about how soon we decide to run away.
Yeah. Which I think I was I was the one who pitched running away very early on.
Yeah.
And I've now been convinced that we should stay and fight, but I think that the situation is actually considerably worse than when I originally pitched running away.
It's worse in almost every respect, and the one respect in which it's not worse is that you're carrying a gun with 2 bullets. And I love those odds. I love those odds.
We've got one fewer seeping nightmare to deal with.
We do, yeah. So, I have been playing by myself a fair amount of Arkham, and there's a pattern in my games, which is that I very nearly win and then get beaten shitless because I'm a bit too bullish. And right now, I would like to be bullish and try and win this scenario. Partly because I think it'll be fun, partly because I think it will be hashtag good content, partly because I think we might be able to, and I'd like to try for a little bit longer at least.
Yeah.
Any other strategic discussions? not that can really call itself a strategic discussion in any meaningful way. but would you like to have any of that more of that kind of chat before we go and do a Mythos phase?
No, I think we're in that. I think we'll know within a turn or two whether we need to run away. I think is where I'm at.
It's going to be really funny, by the way, if I die in this Mythos phase. It's such a hilarious way to start the stream. I don't know what we do for the rest of the evening if we do.
Really would.
Oh wow, the agenda deck's about to flip as well. Oh yeah, that happens a lot, doesn't it, in the scenario, right? It just spawns a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, it happens over and over again.
Yeah.
It's going to spawn a thing, and the question is, how do I deal with the thing? And the problem is, this seeping nightmare is just going to like spawn these things quite quickly now. It's going to be the same one over and over again.
Yes, right? It will be that one that does the spawning.
Yeah.
Like you say, let's try it and see if we can avoid killing me or our lovely Japanese aviator Takada. That would be nice, but I think we are not likely to kill Avery Claypool, who I'd be very sad to lose. So the Mythos phase starts. We go to Doom of 2, which means that
Eidolon spawns.
Indeed. It is a manifestation of madness.
Boy, howdy is it.
Yeah, I seldom see madness manifested quite as well as this. It's hunter enemy. When it attacks you, you shuffle the top 2 cards of the Takilili deck into your deck without looking at them. Or if you can't do that, you deal +1 damage and +1 horror. Jesus, that's awful. Let's never have this thing attack us. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's draw some encounter cards instead. That will be much nicer.
Yeah. Should I go first, or do
Yeah.
you? Why don't
I
you
think
go first?
you
We'll
no,
see
you
you.
have to go first. You're the lead
Oh,
investigator.
oh, I thought it was always up to the
Not the
players.
no. The mythos phase is when we don't get to decide the order of things happen, and they just happen to us in a prescribed order.
I've still got so much to learn. Antarctic Wind Revelation attached to the nearest location without a copy of Antarctic Wind attached. Investigators at attached location cannot play cards or draw cards from their deck, and at the end of the round, it's going to go away.
Okay,
So,
that's
that could have been much worse.
yeah.
Stop spinning it around like a tool. There we go.
Okay. I am going to draw Dark Aura. Okay. Test 3 willpower. For each frost token revealed during this test, take 1 horror. If you fail, take 2 horror. Okay. So I am 5 versus 3. Don't think I've got any other. Oh. But I'm going to pitch a card to the test if TTS ever lets me. There we go.
There's a real risk that you're about to die here, isn't there, Dave?
No, there's a real risk that Takada's going to suffer quite a lot of horror on my behalf. And
so he is, yeah.
I believe Takada's pronouns are she. She, her.
Indeed. Oh yeah, she was one of our lovely WLWs, wasn't she?
No, I don't think so. I think that was Kessler, our team leader, and Marla Singer, who was the doctor.
Okay.
Here's a frost token. Yeah, that's 1 horror. Here's a -1. So that's -3. I don't fail. 1 horror is suffered, and it will indeed be inflicted on Takada.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
May I go first?
Can we discuss quickly what it is we plan to do at this point? I'm not saying you can't go first. You definitely can. But
sure.
What do you want to do?
What I would like to do is get away from the monsters who are going to kill me.
Yes,
I propose to do that by sicking one of them on the other one. So I will power word the skittering nonsense to distract the glacial phantasm, and also to move into the treacherous path. And then I will move into the treacherous path, and I will evade the skittering nonsense using Mists of Relia. And if I'm successful, which I aim to be, I will move an additional location. And that will leave 2... oh no, I'll move into the Rocky Crags. That's what I'll be moving to. So I'll move 2 places away. I'll end up in the treacherous path. I'll be 2 away from the phantasm, which will be exhausted. And I'll be 1 away from the skittering nonsense, which will be exhausted. And I hope that will allow me to stay ahead of these 2 nasties for long enough to draw up some cards, get rid of the treachery in my hand, possibly have some hope of being useful in the fight against the Seeping Nightmare and its friends.
Yeah.
I noticed that you asked me what we are planning to do, and then I've made a long monologue of my plans.
Well,
not so very much about what I think you should do, or giving you a chance to say what you think you should do.
So there are, as a us strategy, rather than, I agree with everything you just said, because I don't think you have other options apart from to try and survive this turn.
Yes, that's true.
But I think looking ahead strategically, there are 2 things we could do. Thing A is one of the other of us, almost certainly me, can try and get in and kill this Seeping Nightmare before it spawns its last thing.
Yeah.
And or let's say before it spawns its last thing, there's a caveat there, but I don't want to overcomplicate things at this point with a complicated branching decision tree. The other possibility is that we forget about going to the graves and taking it on in the snow graves and wait for it to come to us. Once the last thing from its spawns, it gains Hunter. So it will come to us sooner rather than later. Right now we have to kill 1, 2, 3, 4 monsters. If the last one spawns, that only changes to 5. And there are reasons to think that me trying to get in and kill it before it can spawn the 5th one, I'm going to run into all sorts of problems doing it. Right?
I will have charges on my evade spell. So although I'm basically a half-dead stage magician stumbling around Antarctica, I could come in and usefully maybe evade the manifestation of madness, giving you time to go and try and kill the Sleeping Nightmare.
Yeah, I'm actually quite tanky at the moment, aren't I? Is another thing. Like, it can... I don't really want to get a load of Lily cards in my deck, is the thing.
No, I think that would be really bad. Definitely don't do that. What we really want to avoid is the Phantasm, actually, because that just gives to kill elite cards by being near things.
Yeah. This is part of why I'm saying maybe we need to deal with the rest of the board, let this thing spawn out and come at us, and just like be at strategic locations and wait for things to come to us and fight them one by one. I feel like if I go running in here, I'm going to end up fighting 3 things at once, at least 2, if not 3 things, in like quick succession after one another. And I'm not sure that I can. I'm fairly certain I think it would be very hard to do alone, and I think it will also be hard for you to get here and help me in time for it to have been worth going in there. Now, the caveat to it all is when there's no more monsters under this thing, this agenda will flip and presumably something bad will happen, right? Like,
yes,
I've never known an agenda to flip and it be good.
I think that's a given. Yeah, sometimes the game surprises you by nasty things happening when the act flips, but the agenda is pretty uniformly bad.
Yeah. But it's a question. It's mostly a question of can we kill it before it flips the agenda? I mean, the agenda's going to flip anyway, right? The agenda's going to. This agenda will flip.
I mean, it's in its nature. It can't help it. Let's see. It's a 2 Doom agenda, and there's an agenda deck with 2 cards in it. Hopefully,
right, let's imagine I went here and had no problems with the manifestation of madness and killed the Sleeping Nightmare with no issues whatsoever.
Yeah,
we would then have a countdown of 1 or 2 turns before this agenda flipped, because this agenda flips if there's nothing below the Sleeping Nightmare, and there would be nothing below the Sleeping Nightmare. So here's what I'm going to argue now. It is better for this to flip with the fewest possible number of enemies on the table. It is going to flip. We should try and minimize the number of enemies on the table when it flips. I am agnostic about whether this Sleeping Nightmare is one of them. This Sleeping Nightmare actually isn't that hard to
kill. You make a strong case. It's quite hard to kill. It's not very hard to hit. Yeah, it does require a lot of hits to kill. Yeah, I mean, my feeling is that I've got 2 guns, 2 sword canes, and one more murder spell in my deck.
Yeah.
And between all of those things, I'm hoping that one of them will come into my hand before quite soon. I think I've seen 1 murder spell so far. Of all my enemy management cards. So I'm hoping that something will turn up and that I will be able to contribute towards the endeavour of killing the monsters.
So I'm going to pitch, why don't I come towards you and kill some of the monsters that are already on you? And we deal with today's problems today and tomorrow's problems tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
Cool. We have a plan. Right. I think you still think you should go first.
Yeah. My only caveat is I'd like to keep the skittering nonsense alive, because at the moment it's one of the best ways that we have of dealing with monsters.
Okay. I will keep the skittering nonsense
Yeah.
alive for as long as possible. It will eventually, your little pet will eventually have to die.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, that is the nature of having pets, and
We
particularly
should
when
kill
they're...
that glacial phantasm real quick, though. Like,
Yeah,
I might
yeah,
come
for
over
sure.
and make that my priority.
Yeah. Yeah. Incidentally, I misinformed you about the rules as regards power word.
Okay.
You can't trigger it, even if it's in your
can't.
location. Yeah. If there's a treachery in my face in my location, you can trigger it.
Okay.
Yes, Troth over here, but power word you can't. It has to be me, because I control the card even when it's not open.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, with no further ado, I will trigger power word. So I give 2 commands to Skittering Nonsense. Command number 1 is to distract the phantasm. And there goes that. And command number 2 is to move. No, not like that. And move it to this place, the Rocky Crags. Okay, that's my first action. My second action, I move myself to the Rocky Crags. The Skittering Nonsense engages me again. I'm not going to bother moving it, so I hope I'll be able to just evade it. And I will, for my third action, use a charge from Mr. Villiers to try and evade it. So I am... Is that actually really hard to do? It is really hard to do. Yeah, it's just a 5 versus 4, isn't it? That's really rubbish odds.
Yeah.
I would like to amend my plan, just if that's okay. I think I'll get it just to cower, so they can both sit there and think about what they've done, and I'll move twice.
That's good as well,
the
because then
treacherous
you
path.
don't necessarily take...
I was hoping to get... One of my aims for this turn was being more than 2 spaces away from the phantasm. And that's the end of my game.
Cool. Do you think I should prioritize the Manifestation of Madness or the Glacial Phantom?
So the Glacial Phantasm next turn will be in the Rocky Crags. I think we can be out of its way. By the turn after, it will be in Treacherous Path, and I think at that stage it will be very hard for us to be more than 2 spaces away from it. So it will come to us. I mean, both of these will come to us. So
both of these will come to us.
Oh yeah, no, it's not a hunter, but it moves at the end of the enemy phase. I've forgotten that. If it's ready. Yeah, so they'll both come to us.
Oh, whoops. I'm thinking I might move to the Precarious Ice Sheet. Lose a skill test on purpose. Okay, increasing difficulty by 2, so this is now 6 to investigate.
Should you have a cat in play, Jessica? Oh, you do. You have Augur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have Augur. be honest, because I'm trying to lose this, I'm not going to use Augur.
No, don't.
If I don't really care about this clue. Fine. That's -2. -3. So it was a 6 versus 2. Yep, I failed super hard. Which means I'm going to gain 2 resources off that, and I'm going to draw a card with
The rabbit's foot.
Yeah, I was just checking. It does exhaust.
It does exhaust.
It would be a bit too good if it didn't. Cool. Then I'm going to move to this crash site, and I'm going to I want to do. We've not already got these, have we? We've not already got the supplies.
I don't think we've got any of them. No, I'll double check. I'm pretty sure we've somehow managed to not get any of those.
I think we should get some, and I'm going to try and get these ones. I'm currently at 3. I'm going to pitch that because I've got to lose stuff at the end of this turn anyway.
That's the flashlight.
Yeah, and I might pitch this as well. So that takes us to 5. 5 versus 3.
If you can, if you're using resourceful, I would try and be slightly higher up than that.
If I don't care about clues anymore, I'll chuck in this. Look what I found. I don't think I do care about clues anymore.
I don't think there's anything we can do with clues apart from if we wanted to go to the snowgraves, get into the snowgraves, we would need more clues. But it sounds like we're rolling back from that aspiration.
Yeah. Okay. 7 versus 3 then. No. Stop it.
Claypool. Does Avery exhaust?
I cancelled it. Yeah. Yes. It doesn't say put the token back. It just says ignore it. So I'm going to leave it out.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Right. Okay. That's my turn.
Okay. Was that 4 actions?
I started here.
Oh yeah, you started there. Move. Fail to investigate.
Move. Fail to get any supplies recovered.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm very frustrated by that. That was a lot of resources I put into making that work.
Yeah, that's a shame. In the enemy phase, this skittering nonsense. Hang on. Let's just check whether it's quicker for it to come back to here. I think we might want to. No, when an enemy at Sleeping Nightmare's location is moving. So for the purposes of this skittering nonsense's move, it's not connected to anything else, so it has to move here. These 2 are exhausted. The Manifestation of Madness moves there to the Frozen Shores.
Yes, which is exactly what I was hoping it would do.
It's falling into our trap. And at the end, none of the enemies attack. At the end of the enemy phase, the Glacial Phantasm moves there, right? Towards the location of most investigators. Yeah. Oh, boo.
Yeah.
No, that's if it's ready. It's not ready. It doesn't move
ready. It just readies, right?
Technically, it readies in the upkeep phase at the same time as everything else.
That's true.
Yeah, I was thinking I've got. Do you remember my list of kill cards in this deck of 25? And then I looked at my deck and I was like, I'm sure we've had more than why is my deck at 25 cards? And the reason is it's stacked full of Killer Lee cards.
Yeah, I'm in the same position. Of do I actually want to draw loads of cards?
Yes is the answer, because they're persistent. They will stay there clogging up our deck until for every scenario until we get rid of the damn things.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, fine.
In my run through this before, I played with Roland and with Patrice, who's a really exciting investigator who discards her entire hand and then draws 5 cards every turn. And Roland had a lot of trouble with the Takelele cards. Patrice did not.
Cool.
Patrice took lots of hits, but Roland really struggled with the polluted deck.
Well, it's entirely possible for me to draw 3 cards a turn, so maybe I'll start doing that.
Yeah.
Maybe, if only because I can get another cat out.
Let's do the upkeep phase. Okay. You ready? You ready? You ready? Everybody get ready.
Are you all ready for this?
My Chinese wife somehow, in the like repertoire of about 10 songs that she hums, has 2 Unlimited's Get Ready for This song. And I've no idea, like, she was born in 1989. She must have been like 3 when that song came out, and she was living in the People's Republic of China, where I imagine it wasn't a big hit.
Yeah.
I would love to know what's happened there. Anyway. That's
You're right, I shouldn't have committed that resourceful, never mind.
Oh, really?
I just shouldn't have. Like, it would be way more useful to have used it on the gun, but I've got 2 cards that I can use for getting this gun back.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We'll be okay. We'll be okay.
Yeah.
I think I can swing it so that I basically never fight without shooting a gun at something for the rest of this game.
Cool. Shooting or throwing, I hope.
Shooting or throwing, yeah, there's a good chance I throw it.
Okay, I've done the 1 doom, haven't I? We flipped last turn, so it's encounter card time, Jessica. Let's not prevaricate about the bush anymore. You draw Dark Aurora, which is what I had last turn.
Okay. What's my willpower like? Kind of shit. Do I have? I could. There's stuff I can pitch to this, but I'm also like low enough on horror and with some soak that I think I'm just gonna leave it.
Yeah, I think that's the right call, actually. You get a +1.
Boy, was it. Boy, was it the right call. Oh, +1, and I needed that as well because I'm on Quick Learner. So.
Yeah, so you did.
I forgot I was on Quick Learner. Cool.
Okay. I draw. Oh my goodness, this one is really hard to pronounce. Phantasmagora. If there are no Seeping Nightmares in play, Phantasmagora's Green Surge. Otherwise, find the Seeping Nightmare nearest to an investigator. If there are 1 or more cards beneath it, choose one of them at random and spawn it at its location.
Okay.
That's fine. Well, I mean, it's not fine. It's not ideal, but like that, it's kind of the thing that we were expecting to happen ever so slightly early.
Yeah.
It would have been nice for this to come out another time, but never mind. I think at this stage, any encounter card that doesn't cause me damage is good news as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. We wouldn't have minded another turn before that happened, but like another way of thinking about this is if we'd gone for the plan where I went into the Snowgraves and tried to kill this thing before this spawned, I'd be in deep fucking shit right now. Because I would be, I think, in the Snowgraves or like at least at the Frozen Shores at this point, and I would much rather be where I am.
I mean, the only benefit to that situation is that you would be at a burial place already. You wouldn't have to worry too much about funeral arrangements. But yeah, other than that, I see only downsides.
Okay. This is one of the few campaigns where I feel like Barricade would actually be quite useful. It's this scenario, rather, I feel like Barricade would be quite useful. It's generally shit, that card, but like this in this particular case, I think it would be useful.
Yeah, there are builds that you can make around Barricade. They're janky as hell, but they involve you. They're like cool control center builds. They involve you like barricading yourself in a tiny room and remotely investigating the rest of the board. I've never played them.
Really
I would like to. Yeah, it does sound cool, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Might be less fun, I think, than running around. But
let's discard this Dark Aurora, which I got lucky with. I kind of know what I want to do this turn.
Okay.
I don't know if all this should have been discarded as well. This Antarctic wind.
What are you planning to do this turn?
I would like to end the turn. Actually, we both need to conspire for this plan that I've got to work. I would like to end this turn in a position where it would be just as good if the manifestations of madness and the Seeping Nightmare went to the camp as if they came up here. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'd like to make them go to the camp. Yeah. I think this was the thing we least wanted. This is the one thing we didn't want to happen. To a very, very niche reference. And already very, very niche.
I think about that reference quite often. I thought about that earlier today. That's all I'm going to say about it.
I perhaps won't go in and explain this. I think it's
I don't think we could. I think it would derail our stream completely and possibly result in us not being demonetized forever. Not that I ever expect to get money from this from this channel, but there might be other downsides to it.
There might be. This situation where we have, I think, 5 enemies on the board right now, and this agenda about to flip is the thing that we were trying to avoid happening, and it's going to happen. So I think our best strategy is to keep them as divided as possible.
Yeah.
Kind of have them trickling towards us, and then taking on one of them at a time, killing that one, and something I like about making this manifestation of madness and the Seeping Nightmare go up here is this is one way, right? It won't go back. I thought of something very
I think we can get all 3 of these up to the camp, actually. If we do what you're intending.
Okay, I don't think we can get all 3 of them.
Let's wait till the enemy phase and maybe I'll talk about
that. But if we can do that, we can create a situation where the only thing on this bottom half of the board is the manifestation of madness, which I'm relatively comfortable just going in and killing, in one turn, and then letting stuff trickle down towards me at the bottom of the map and taking it on as it arrives is something I'm entirely comfortable with doing.
What do you propose for that to happen? I think this skittering nonsense up here in the icy wastes is probably the only thing standing between us and unending happiness, or your plan being successful.
So if I ended at the precarious ice sheet, these things would be equidistant from me and you, assuming that you didn't move. Whichever route they take, they can go Icebreaker Landing or the precarious ice sheet. So as long as you finish at the precarious ice sheet where you are, or somewhere that's further away than either, which is most places, to be honest, just don't end at the crash site, basically. Or I guess down here at the Crystalline Cavern, which I know you want to go there, but now would be a bad time. One of the many bad times to go to the Crystalline Cavern is now.
I don't think there's ever a bad time to go to Crystalline Cavern, but I will. You've indulged me on it already, and so I'm happy to dampen my ardor to go there.
Yeah. So if we, sorry, I didn't mean to be quite so dismissive. I got into kind of autism mode for a second. Whatever, Dave. Anyway, I'm looking at these 2 almost equivalent locations, so I've come up with a very minor point about them. As long as we end up in probably these 2 places at the end of the turn, we can enact this plan. I'm just wondering if there's anything which we can do to get some extra efficiency out of the turn. Do you want the skittering nonsense dead, or do you want it alive still?
That one I would love to be dead. In fact, the only thing I don't like about that plan is I would like to end up in the precarious ice sheet, and I would like to not be killed by the skittering nonsense.
Okay, I mean, I can go to the icy wastes and kill the skittering nonsense in probably a single shot.
Yeah, do that.
And that's as good, right? Like, then we're still just. In fact, they'll prefer it even more. They'll prefer going to Icebreaker Landing even more if I'm at the icy
Yeah,
wastes.
absolutely. And I think
one-
I think we get them all done.
Yeah, that's my whole turn, though, isn't it?
You do that. My turn is going to be really boring, but it's going to pay dividends in the end.
Cool. I will move here. I will investigate. 6 versus 2. Yep, unsurprisingly, I have failed to investigate there. I will draw 2 cards from Rabbit's Foot. Great. That is a good pull.
Both of those cards I'm really happy to see. Like, I think the worst thing that can happen to me in terms of encounter card pools is that encounter card where you have to test agility or you're stuck in a location, and if you fail, you take damage.
Yeah.
And yeah,
the skittering nonsense is now engaged with me.
Mhm.
I will now shoot the skittering nonsense.
Hooray!
So I will be on 5-6 versus 2 because of quick learner. Unless there's
Excellent.
anything that I'm missing. I am going to have to discard something at the end of this turn. I don't think I want to use anything that's in my hand on this attack. I think I'm just going to... All the stuff that would be useful on this attack is more useful in my hand, kept for later. I will discard an old keyring at the end of this turn.
Yeah, there are harder enemies than this to fight, and any combat pips should be safe for that, I think.
I feel... How many are there in the bag now, Dave?
I think we counted them last time, and there are 5.
Actually, you know, I'm not.
Avery, he's our man. I think probably keeping his last token for a time when you pull 2 and you really don't want to fail a test is probably the right play.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was correct because I still kill it.
Hooray!
This can go.
You do draw a Tekelili card.
Sure.
But it's just one.
Just one. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
What's one Tekelili card between friends? There are 9 left in the deck.
Put it in
you add it to your deck. That's what I mean. Cool. My turn, as I said, is going to be very boring, but I'm going to discard Yaz Taroth and move to the precarious ice sheet, which means I activate my ability again, which I've actually forgotten what it is, what it does. Okay, that's great. I can do it right now. I will discard Azure Flame, and I will put Clairvoyance into play, paying 1 less to it 3, and we're back in business. Although you said you don't care about clues and the opportunities we have, I need to investigate a location with no clues.
I think I don't care about clues was like big talk, and actually I probably do still care about clues a bit. I'm just not going to make a priority of them. I don't think they're how we win.
Yeah. Would we like these 3 nasties to go to Icebreaker Landing?
Why do you think this this manifestation of madness would go to Icebreaker Landing.
So the Sleeping Nightmare's ability is for enemies at its location. What they're all Eidolons, aren't they? Let's just double check that. Yeah, they're all Eidolons. So this one can move first. The manifestation, the Snowgroves, can move first. It will be at the Sleeping Nightmare's location, and we'll move to Icebreaker Landing.
Sure.
Next, no, you're right. They can't all move.
Yeah, because I'm the closest thing now via Icebreaker Landing. So I think the Eidolon, the Sleeping Nightmare, has to go to Icebreaker Landing.
My calculations involved us all being in the precarious ice sheet, and it would have left the Sleeping Nightmare at the frozen shores.
I like the idea. I also feel like this manifestation of madness doesn't have enough turns to do that, but like enough movement to do that.
If it had been in the same, if the Sleeping Nightmare moved to the frozen shores first, this manifestation would then have moved to the Icebreaker Landing because it was then at the Sleeping Nightmare's location.
Oh, I see.
You feel me?
Yes. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
So I mean, we can sort of do something like that. No, we can't. We can't. The Sleeping Nightmare has to go to Icebreaker Landing, and this manifestation. Both of our friends at the Snowgroves go to Icebreaker Landing.
Yeah.
They do not pass go. They do not collect £200, nor do we. And then this sad little one goes to the crash site.
Yeah. And this is the one that we're going to kill next, I think.
Okay, yeah. And let's not forget our friend, the Global Phantasm.
Yeah.
And My Little Pet. Both of whom move to Rocky Cracks. Nobody draws a Lily card. And nothing else happens. It's the upbeat phase.
Great.
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, discard 2 cards.
For anyone who's not watched our streams before, we play with our hands visible to each other, mostly for your benefit. But sometimes it's interesting for us to talk about the right strategy, and I think that makes the content better, even though we are not fully following the rules of the game. For instance, now I'm going to say, Jessica, that I think that was the right call. Weird though it might seem. I think both of those are the least useful cards for the remainder of the scenario.
Yeah, it feels really weird to be doing it, but like.
Yeah, I think the only reason you might want to keep one of those is to scavenging back a gun at a later stage, but you have Augur in play, and neither rain nor snows, and you don't really need the Fearings, I think, bearing those two facts in mind. Mythos phase.
The agenda advances.
Yeah, the agenda does advance. It actually advances this time. Oh.
This place is not what it seems. You feel as though you've trespassed somewhere ancient and terrible, and now its wrath is erupting all around you. That's the voice I plan to use a lot when I'm playing the trap set.
Oh, thank you for the sneak preview.
It's very annoying, I can agree. You've walked into my trap. Each investigator must decide, choose one, to add a frost token to the chaos bag. Or, in player order, each investigator shuffles the top 2 cards of the Tequila deck into their deck. Then each investigator who cannot takes 1 damage and 1 horror instead. Right. Let me just check some stuff.
I'm just going to note that this flip side of the agenda is called a foul air. And I think that's an accurate title.
Yeah. Can I make that decision after I've read this agenda?
I don't
It
think
doesn't
so,
actually say
actually.
anything.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think this text is active and must be dealt with. It is just flavor text. We can see it now, but I think technically we're supposed to make this decision first and then move on to that other agenda.
I think it's the Frost token.
Really?
I feel like leaving 5 Tikili deck cards in the deck is going to create a situation really soon where we start taking damage on horror because we can't shuffle them in, and also like we might draw them. Does the Frost token? The Frost tokens are also persistent, aren't they?
Yeah.
Horrible.
I think the
Such a
cards.
horrible game.
I think that it's. I don't know why we do this to ourselves. I think the
Yeah.
cards are the Frost token's worse because the cards are one shots that
Sure.
that are miserable and then are done with, and the tokens stay in the bag for the remainder of the campaign. There's been a couple of times we've had an opportunity to remove them, but we're adding them quicker than we've had opportunities to remove them, let alone I don't think we've managed to take advantage of them. The Phantasm gives a horror if you can't shuffle the card. The Skittering Nonsense and the Manifestation of Madness just make an attack, an extra attack. I think, to be honest, if anything attacks me, I'm done anyway. And a horror I can live with. Is that true?
Fine. Let's take 2 cards then.
Yeah.
You convinced me.
Say a horror I can live with. That's not strictly true. Oh, well, it is strictly true. Takada might not live. Is the detail that I've brushed.
So I'm looking at our board now.
Yes.
Oh, fuck, we haven't even drawn our encounter cards yet.
We have not, no.
Make an assessment of the situation once we've drawn the encounter cards.
We also need to read the Icy Depths.
Yes.
Which, again, will almost certainly gives us a lot of comfort and succor.
The violent quakes have risen to a crescendo. Any second now, you feel as though the entire shelf could collapse, spiraling you into the frigid ocean, or worse, if your theory about the underground source of these creatures is correct. Or worse, if your theory about the underground source of these creatures is correct. Right. Let's do encounter cards.
Yeah. Tiny detail. I've just noticed that Elidons are supposed to have... Ooh, that's interesting. What happened to that Skittering Nonsense you just killed?
I think I might have discarded... Oh, no, I put it up in the victory display.
Oh, that's good. That's what I was about to rectify, because I thought I'd forgotten that we were supposed to be putting them up there. Cool.
Or did I? Because did you kill one already? I think you killed one already, didn't you?
No, I didn't, no.
Okay. Then... Are you sure? Because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 enemies on the board. I'm pretty certain there shouldn't be an odd number of enemies.
I agree with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're missing an Eidolon. I'm going to say it doesn't matter.
I'm going to say it doesn't matter as well.
I think the important thing is that it's not been put in the deck or the discard pile. And I'm sure we haven't shuffled the encounter deck. So wherever it's gone, it's out of play and it's victory 0. So I don't think it's going to have any further effect on things.
I drew white out. So for a round, things are just harder here, which is fine. I don't think I was planning on making my stand here.
Okay, I drew Polar Vortex. When you end your turn at attached location, each card you control with health, including your investigator, takes 1 direct damage.
So
that's a stinker, but it's not the worst.
So now I'm going to make my assessment of this situation,
Mhm.
which is that I believe we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 enemies on the board and 6 turns in which to kill them all.
Yes.
I think it's very likely that we can kill one of them this turn. During this turn, the other ones will also get closer to us, which is fine.
Except for
Positive and
the
so on.
phantasm. We want to be not close to the phantasm.
Yes. So.
Or we want phantasm to be exhausted.
Or we want phantasm to be exhausted. I agree. So other issues we have are we have 2 locations that each have 2 hunter monsters on, and we ideally actually, you know, it's not the end of the world if 2 monsters descend on us if we're both in the same place at the same time, right? So like,
yes, yeah. If the monsters descend on us and they engage with you, it's less of a problem. If they engage with me, it's a real issue.
Okay, sure. We could kill this manifestation of madness this turn. I could also start rocking up to this lot over here. Like, what do we prioritize?
I think if we're not going to try and run away, so I could go for and distract these 2 for a while if I wanted, if we wanted. I could move into their location and get them both exhausted. It doesn't bring us much closer to winning. I could move into the manifestations. I think my preference is probably to move there and evade it. Hope to draw a good card with the lucky cigarette case and be in a position to do something about the enemies next turn.
Yeah.
And then the following turn, go after these guys. That would be nice, right?
It would be nice. I had underestimated this Seeping Nightmare. This Seeping Nightmare Manifestation of Madness combo is quite hard to deal with.
Both of them together.
I don't feel confident just like going in and tanking this, for example. And this duo blocks off our ability to quit the scenario. We have to.
I don't think so.
The camp gains investigate your location, spend 4 clues to group resign. And this is the camp, right?
Yeah, we could just go there and resign.
Sure, we can this turn.
Once they're in between us and the camp, that's obviously more of an issue. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So we need to make a decision about that this turn, basically.
Yeah. The skittering nonsense can automatically evade one of these 2 by itself. I'm not quite sure how we would leverage that at this time, but that's an option.
Yeah.
Do you think you could kill the phantasm?
I think if I was in the same place, like if I started a turn close enough to it, my reading of this phantasm is I have to tank to clearly card from it at some point to kill it.
I think
with the best will in the world, right?
I think how about I move there, exhaust them both. Yeah. That's my turn.
Yeah.
You move there, start wailing on them. That's your turn. This manifestation gets closer to us. These guys leave the camp.
Sure. Which, if they started to get further than the icy wastes, it would open up a way for us to get back there if we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
I think that's our best bet, right?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so move, power word. So skittering nonsense cowers. Glacial Phantasm is distracted. That's the end of my turn. And that's all.
1, 2, 3. So I'm only going to end the turn there. That's all that's going to happen.
How about if you go via the barrier camp?
Sure, let's do that then. Got to the barrier camp. Do I want to draw a bunch of cards this turn? Yes.
Do you though? What are you hoping to draw into?
I mean, that's a good question. I don't really have anything I'm hoping to draw into.
I
you said it was good to try and get through the tickle.
It is. I would advise using your actions on trying to kill the phantasm.
Because it's a free action. Oh, you're saying if I fail?
If you fail, then you get another pop at it.
1, 2. I'm going to fight it at 6 versus 4.
With base 3.
So
plus
5
2, and then once put it on the 6.
So 5 versus 3 actually is what I mean, not 6 versus 4. But same difference.
Would you like some combat pips?
Yeah, sure. Cool. Let's spend a resource.
Oh. Okay. Well, it's good. I think you get the ammo back, and it turns out I just gave you some very good advice.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Up yours or to fail.
We'll see who cancelled who.
Yeah.
One of my favorite clips in the world. Okay, let's.
Your favorite what's in the entire world?
One of my favorite clips in the entire world. It just really makes me laugh.
I don't know that one.
The Jordan Peterson one when he got briefly banned from Twitter and he had he recorded a moodily lighted video of himself going, "Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who." And he sounds like a villain from a video game character from a video game. It's incredible. Right, I'll try that again then. I'm once again doing it at a +2. Do you want to?
I have no more pips to offer you, but do use some of your own.
I'm sure. It's sort of not that important that I succeed.
You think?
Well, next turn it will be. This turn it's moderately important.
Okay.
I'm just one.
Yeah.
Although I am going to start discarding stuff, so I might put a rain. We're getting to end game, aren't we? So should I just? And there's so much shit in the bag that it is worth doing. Right. Fine. I'm now at +5. Cool. Didn't need to do it, but that's okay. And something that really does go away.
So that's 2 damage going on that.
Great.
Okay. In the enemy phase, this manifestation comes to the treacherous path. These guys go to the icy wastes. These guys do nothing. In the upkeep phase, you get money and resources. I get a kill spell. Not that I'm supposed to not tell you, but it's exciting. So I will.
Great.
Cool. I might be useful again. Imagine that. Then we have the Mythos phase.
So we do. 0 visibility. Uh,
Well, we should have discarded a couple of these attachments. The Polar
Yeah, we should have.
Vortex and the Whiteout both go, right?
Yeah, they do, yeah. So, 0 visibility says, put it into play in my threat area as an additional cost for me to leave a location with a treacher attached to it. I have to spend an action. And then at the end of every turn, I try and evade 0 visibility. This isn't that bad, like compared to some stuff that I've compared to some of the things I've seen in my life. Let me tell you, it's not so
bad. I get the same. Okay. Cool.
Cool.
So these are also ready. And yeah, I'm happy with that. Would you like to start first and see if you can kill the global phantasm?
Yeah. I'm going to throw a gun at it.
Yes. We've waited so long for this to happen, Jessica.
We really have.
I'm touching all of the wood in the room.
Okay, let me just make sure I've read it. So
I'll read it out for the benefit of the stream. As an additional cost...
The answer might be that I don't want to do it yet, actually, because I'm currently on -1 from Quick Learner.
That's...
At the very least, I should, fail to investigate the location first.
We've said these guys both ready.
So that means that
they should engage me so that you are able to do.
Then I'm going to spend actions to engage him anyway, right?
I don't think so. Are you?
Doesn't it cost an action to engage? I've been playing this game very wrong.
No, it doesn't. You're proposing to engage them before killing. You're proposing to engage the phantasm before killing it, right?
Yeah, which I thought cost an action. That costs an action.
Yeah, it does. I'm so confident in how good you are at throwing guns that I was assuming you weren't going to.
Okay.
But that would be...
I draw an auto fail and I kill you is the thing.
Yes, that you could kill me if you drew an auto fail. So perhaps on this occasion, we should avoid that. Is there any way you can dump your first turn, your first action? Without.
I could try and evade, couldn't I? Try and fail to evade. That would be fine.
So let's engage the phantasm with you. Skittering nonsense can engage with me because we have ways of dealing with it. I can just give it a stern talking to if I need to.
It wouldn't be terribly useful to actually evade it.
No.
And I shouldn't draw any cards if I can avoid it, should I? I think we're at squeaky bum time and I shouldn't draw a bunch of cards just for the sake of it because they're almost certain to have some really...
When I said what you're looking to draw into, what I was sort of aiming at, is there anything that you would rather have in your hand than what you've got in your hand at the moment?
There's loads of value contribute these to a test type cards throughout the deck. Admittedly, I've got some of the best ones in my hand already.
Yeah.
And also it feels like I'm leaving value on the board by not drawing them. I'm going to fail a test. I could, whilst failing the test, draw literally 4 cards and gain 2 resources, and I'm not doing that, and that feels really strange. I should at least get the resources, even though I don't need the resources. This is what I mean about this deck feeling broken sometimes. I'm currently in a position where I feel like I don't need cards and I don't need resources.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think you do need anything that's in your deck more than what you've got in your hand at the moment.
So I'm actually at a +1 to evade this thing anyway.
You mean 1 up?
Yeah, 1 up. But I actually still want to fail it, Dave, because I I don't want this to be my action. I want something else to be my action.
Yes, that's true.
So I will take the resources if it somehow doesn't fail. And I was right to use drawing 10 because I have now failed and I get the 2 resources.
Yeah.
Do
you want to draw a card?
What I want and what I should do are different things, aren't they, Dave? Like,
I don't think so. I think you should draw the card. I think I don't, as it's incidental. I don't think you want to go out of your way to draw a card.
Well, in that case, okay, I should maybe have contributed Take Heart to that then.
Maybe, yeah.
Kind of useless on this board today, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't play it, but that's fine.
I mean, I can play it, but there would not be much point.
Yeah.
Have I accidentally reloaded this Derringer? I think I have.
I think you had decided you were going to play it in your first action and taking it out of your hand, but actually you can't play it because attacks of opportunity.
Yeah. Okay.
I think there's still a Derringer in the bin, which is the one that you previously had, right?
I think you're wrong because the other Derringer's in my hand.
Okay.
And so
you have just reloaded it.
I discarded it and put it back on the table, and that reloaded it. So let's play Act of Desperation. So I get +3.
So as an additional cost, choose discard an item asset that takes up risk from your hand slot in your hand or play area. You fight. +3. And you deal +1 damage.
Yeah.
And you'll get 3 resources that you don't need if you succeed. Now this is the test that you really don't want to fail. I submit.
Yeah. So I'm currently at +3. If I
3 up.
Yeah, I'm currently. No, I'm not. I'm currently at 2 up. This gives me +3.
I'm actually going to the app to see what our odds are. I think you definitely want to be 3 up, possibly 4 up.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a load of horrible snow in the deck. Admittedly, I can cancel one of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would certainly add another pip to this. If you add another pip to it, it's basically an auto fail is your only the only thing that's going to cause it to
You
lose.
don't have any pips you can give me, no?
No, I don't, sadly. Don't think so.
I think it's not just the auto fail because of all that snow that's in there.
Ah. Yeah, that's true.
Otherwise, I would say, like, yeah, I'll definitely just contribute resourceful to this. That'll be fine.
I think that resourceful should be for getting Act of Desperation back into your hand.
Potentially, yeah. And or for getting, like, I probably don't need it for a Derringer. I probably have other ways. Like, I've got a second Derringer already, and I've got a way of getting one back. But yeah, I agree about Desperation. What did we say? I'm at a +2.
As previously discussed, you can draw a lot of cards as you whenever you want to.
Yeah.
You will be drawing in your upkeep, and you can tank a test on your next turn and draw more with draw potentially 4 more cards. I would. It's entirely up to you, and within the rules of the game, I shouldn't really even be knowing what your choices are or giving you advice. But I would be minded to pitch both of those to this.
Both of them?
Yeah.
We've got worse enemies than this to fight quite soon. Much worse enemies than this. Like, I can tank this for ages. If I miss, I'll try and punch it in the face and just tank it.
This is the enemy with the hardest fight score on the board.
Yeah, but it doesn't do, like, it doesn't have 6 health and do 2 damage and 2 horror. It does 1 damage and 1 horror.
It's entirely up to you. I would.
Also, resourceful cannot be used on Act of Desperation because I'm playing it this turn, and presumably it's not in the discard yet. Presumably it's in the play area,
Let's see.
right?
I think it is in limbo. Actually, you're right. Yeah, I think it's in limbo until the test resolves, and the resourceful triggers before the test has finished resolving at the point where it is declared successful after the token's pulled. So you're right, actually. Yeah.
I really shouldn't have played that other resourceful earlier. I hadn't even chosen a target for it. I was just like, I'll play this. I'm sure there's something in the discard that I want. I'm definitely going to pass this test. And then I drew the autofail.
Not to worry. You like.
I will.
Yeah.
I will neither rain nor snow this one. I won't resourceful it.
Yeah. Cool.
So that puts me at +5.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
What does that do?
-2 if you fail Shuffler to kill Lily.
Which I've not done. I have not failed.
You have not failed. It's somewhat out of character for Stella.
Okay. That's, I would argue, the second biggest threat on the board gone.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't have just.
No, that's fine. It was an appropriate thing to do in the moment. I think its damage went flying a little bit though. Should Miss Door have a damage on her?
Yeah, she did.
Okay. Was that your second action?
Yes, actually.
Was throwing the gun at the enemy as satisfying as you'd hoped?
It was. It was very satisfying. I think I should play a Derringer for my third action.
Definitely. Without a doubt.
You're taking care of the skittering nonsense on your turn, yes?
Yes, I am. Where do we want to be?
Possibly a little bit further, possibly up in the Frigid Cave.
If one of us is here, these two can go up to the barrier camp, which would be good.
If one of us is here, the Manifestation of Madness also attacks us, though.
No, not if I send my skittering nonsense after it. It doesn't.
Okay, cool. Do that.
I can deal with this one down here, and would quite like to.
I might get scavenging out as well, because if we need it, we really need it. And I won't have the extraction later, or unless there's something else. If you're saying I should stay here, which sounds like you're saying.
Yes, yeah. I think that's it. You staying here is good, yeah.
Okay, then I'll just get this out.
Yeah, that's a good shout, and then you've got a way of recurring your Derringers.
Yeah, I am going to go back to drawing cards. There are good value cards in this deck.
Yeah. Yeah, I think drawing in general is good. On the particular moment where I said what you're looking to draw into, I was just thinking you had most of what you wanted to be in your hand.
Yeah. But like, I'm not intrinsically good at most things. I need to punt cards to them to, like, in this sort of situation where I'm like having to fight lots. I don't really have any fight cards left in my hand.
Okay. So this 0 visibility is a pain in the bottom, isn't it?
But there's no treachery attached to this location.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought for some reason it would pertain to this particular area. No, that's fine. Okay. Cool. So that makes my turn a little bit more simple. So I will power word, skittering nonsense. It's going to move to Treacherous Path. So it's a go and a distract. Distracts the manifestation of madness. I am going to follow it. It's going to engage with me again, but I won't bother to move it around, and I'm going to evade it using Mystic Relier. So I am testing using willpower. So I am 5 versus 4. Oh boy, I did this before, and it's not actually good odds, isn't it?
Maybe not.
We'll do it at 2 up, and we'll cross our fingers.
Yay!
Thank goodness. Okay. So I evade skittering nonsense, and I move to the crash site. And that's my turn.
Great.
At the end of both of our turns, we test to see if we discard our respective 0 visibilities.
I do.
I do not. In the enemy phase, do we want these two to split up?
Oh, that's a really hard call. That's a really, really hard call. Yes. Yes.
I think it's probably better, in general, it's probably better that they do.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a situation where we take care of these other two. If these other two enemies weren't on the board, I would say no, I'm gonna go in like Rambo and take them on because like I've got loads of health and loads of horror and I can just do it. But given that we still need to deal with 2 more things first, send the Seeping Nightmare up here.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. And then it's the upkeep phase.
Cool.
Okay.
I have drawn my weakness.
Ah.
But it's fine. It's going to.
You can just pay it off. You can just pay it off.
It's going to literally cost me 1 action, and that's it.
Yeah. It's a good time to be playing Investigator with an extra action every turn.
Yes. It's pretty much always a good time to be playing an Investigator with an extra action.
These two ready?
Mm-hmm.
And we go to the Mythos phase. We're at Doom 2 of 6.
Kindred Mist. Attach the nearest location without a copy of Kindred Mist attached. When 1 or more cards from the Tequila Lee deck would be shuffled into your deck while you're at an attached location, draw them instead, placing them on the bottom of your deck instead of the bottom of the Tequila Lee deck. Well, that doesn't seem that bad.
For now. And I've drawn the Whiteout. That's mildly annoying. But it's not the end of the world. Yeah.
Oh, they get an extra. You resolve the Tequila Lee deck card.
You resolve it and then you.
Cool. And it's attached to a location, not to a me. So that's actually kind of ideal because I sort of don't mind if it's here, the Rocky Crags, because I'm probably going to go in and kill this manifestation of madness.
Oh, right, yeah, so you draw it, it has an effect, then it goes on the bottom of your deck rather than being shuffled in.
Yeah. But, like, yeah. It's bad, but it took me a minute to work out how it was bad and how it wasn't, like, better than shuffling it in.
And actually, in a situation where you're drawing more than what you can draw any more in your turn, or you're likely to shuffle your deck, it's The bottom is as
No
good as being
different.
shuffled in. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I drew the white out, which is, like I said, mildly annoying, but not the end of the world. So what's your turn looking like here, Jessica? If you could see your way to dealing with this manifestation of madness, that would be cool.
Yeah, I think I can. I'm pretty confident of doing so. It's move, blast, blast, basically. Maybe something else, move, blast, blast.
Yeah.
Like maybe deliberately fail some sort of action at the Rocky Crags, blast, blast.
Would you be very sad if the manifestation
hang
of
on.
madness?
This Kindred Mist should have gained surge.
Oh, should it?
Yeah, because of the Rocky Crags.
Oh, yep.
Shame, because it was fine. I didn't mind that being what happens.
I'm just going to say that in that case, this whiteout that you drew should
also have gained surge, and therefore we get neither of them.
Oh no! Surge is an and.
Huh? What's
that? It's so the force ability on Rocky Crags is a max once per phase. So whiteout doesn't gain surge; it just gets added to it. And I draw another encounter card.
Yeah,
which is Phantasmagoria. Okay, so this Seeping Nightmare. Oh, this changes everything.
This is real bad.
It comes for you.
Okay.
So that does change the shape of our turn somewhat.
Yep.
The Mob Enforcer's abilities are parlay, so you can just get rid of it without getting an attack of opportunity. It looks like I'm again not going to be able to.
Dave, can we rewind? I think this is really bad what's happened, and I think I should play After Fate, Alter Fate.
Tell me why.
Because this is really bad what's happened. Like this Sleeping Nightmare, this Sleeping Nightmare showing up when I'm already engaged with something and I don't have the cards I need to kill it is really bad. Me not being a turn ahead of it when I expect it to be a turn ahead of it is really bad. This is, as far as I'm concerned, this is the worst consequence we've had from an encounter card the entire game so far, and so I think it makes sense to play Alter Fate and stop this from happening.
You can't.
Why not?
Alter Fate requires a free trigger player window. There is no free trigger player window.
There isn't one after you draw a treachery card.
Nope. No, there's one at the end of the Mythos phase after everybody's drawn a treachery card. There isn't one now.
Oh, so I can only play it on one that's already in play. Like I can only play it on something that's in front of you. Is that correct? So like I could play it on whiteout, right?
Yes, you can play it on one that's in play. So all of the ones attached to locations, you can play it on.
Okay. But there's no window to play it on Phantasmagoria.
There's no window to play it on Phantasmagoria.
Okay. Shit.
This enemy's going to attack you this turn. We absolutely can deal with it. This enemy is going to be exhausted before the enemy phase happens. You're going to get an attack now because of Phantasmagoria.
Okay.
And then my little friend is going to come and sort it out.
Okay, fine.
There are some details that need addressing, such as is this manifestation of madness currently in the precarious ice sheet going to kill off Takada, or do we have another way of dealing with it? But yeah, I'm not. I don't think the Sleeping Nightmare is going to completely wreck our plan.
I mean, I'm going to still have to take. I'm still going to get attacked by this manifestation of madness at
Yeah.
the end of this turn, right?
No, you're getting attacked by it now.
No,
Phantasmagoria.
the manifestation of madness that's over in the treacherous path. Like, unless I guess I might end my turn somewhere else. But yeah.
So
do you want to take your turn first? If you think you've got some way of
yeah, I think so. Let me take my turn rather than explain to you what I plan to do. We can wind it back if it turns out to I'm erring in some way, but I think this is eminently doable. I say eminently doable. Yeah, 2 up. Yeah. Okay. So move. Power word skittering nonsense. To yeah, I'm going to set up a situation where you need to deal with the skittering nonsense, not with immediately with the Sleeping Nightmare. Did you take the attack from Sleeping Nightmare?
Yeah.
You did, yeah, cool. So
actually I might take one less horror and put it on the cat.
Yeah, I think that's a stoical cat. Miss Doyle can take it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to power word the skittering nonsense to move and distract. Moves to Rocky Crags, and it distracts the Sleeping Nightmare because its evade value at 4 is higher than the Sleeping Nightmare's evade value. It is not exhausted itself. This is important.
Okay.
Oh, no. I think I can see a plan. No, limit once per round per command. Oh no, I can do this. Okay. So the Sleeping Nightmare is at your location and exhausted now.
Sure.
My next move is to try and evade the manifestation of madness using Missive Relier. I am a 5 versus 3. So I'm 2 up. This is probably the weakest part of the plan. But it's a -1.
Okay.
That manifestation of madness is exhausted, and I get a free move, which I'll use to come here.
Okay, this isn't looking too bad.
And lastly, the only thing is I can't use 2 commands here, but I can use power word to get skittering nonsense to cower. I can't sadly do my uber robe skateboard trick of picking up a clue for shits and giggles. Finally, in the third scenario of this campaign, I feel I've actually had a turn that justifies the slightly janky decisions I made in putting this deck together. This is what I was hoping to do with power words, and I feel a little sliver of vindication as a consequence. How do you like them apples, Jessica? You thought you were going to get completely battered and brutalized this turn, and actually I've magically made all of the enemies trip over their shoelaces, which is kind of cool.
It's really good.
Yeah. Please take your turn.
I'm just deciding. I think I might spend some time hitting this monster in the face.
Yeah, probably pay off the mob enforcer first.
Fuck's sake, yeah. There we go. shall I fail a test this time? I might fail attacking it, mightn't I? So I should. So it's 3. I would attack at a 5 and then at a 6. So this one will be at a 5.
Oh, there is whiteout attached to your location.
So I'd only be at a +1. Oh, fine. This Alter Fate isn't nearly as useful as I thought it was. I thought you could like cancel basically any treachery card, but you can't. So I might just literally use it on that whiteout to get a +1.
I think it's still a very strong card. If you have any other way,
this card I'm trying to work out like, okay, we have Ancient Evils in here. That makes a difference. Although we've had 2 of them already.
yeah, Ancient Evils will not be in play. It's these treacheries that attach to locations, and or any that attach to monsters or hang out in your
Okay, I guess I attack it at a +1 then.
I've made a terrible mistake.
What?
Oh no, I haven't. It's fine. Carry.
You can't leave unless you spend an extra action.
I misread Zero Visibility again, and I thought that it messed up my skateboard tricks by adding an extra action I didn't have. It will mess up.
If you were to try and leave this turn,
yeah,
you would.
I would be messed up, but I don't. Yeah. My feeling with Alter Fate is that there are worse things than whiteout to deal with, and if there's any way you can boost your
there isn't. There is no other way of boosting right now. Right now, this would boost 2, possibly 3 attacks on the hardest monster that we've got by 1 each, which I feel is quite good value. But
you're free to do as you wish with it. It might be worth intentionally failing the test, pitching take heart and drawing 4 cards.
Fine,
and
do that.
After which you can it's +1 after that. Seems like such a waste for a +1.
Yeah,
but after all of that you can still play Alter Fate, and you've got 4 more cards in your hand and loads more options. Oh, that is annoying. Kelly makes you lose an action.
Yeah, and also I think none of these help. Yeah, okay, never mind. That's frustrating.
I disagree. Well,
Zeal's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get Zeal. Yeah, let's get Zeal on the board.
Yeah. So Zeal is fast.
Okay, so I still have an action then?
You still have an action, yeah. So that you've taken 1 which failed. You've lost 1 from the Tekelili. So you still have 2.
I also got rid of the mobster, so I have 1.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about the mobster.
Zeal's nice to have, but it doesn't actually do anything more than my gun would. Interesting. It gets me to 5, as does the gun.
Yeah, it does 1 less damage as well. Zeal is useful because you can automatically succeed. So if you want to chip away, or if you find you don't have your gun for reasons, then Zeal is very useful.
Okay, I will now. I think I'm at a +2 now, so let's try it at a +2. There we go.
You should have brought back 1 ammo from the failed shot, so I think you should have 1 ammo left on the gun.
Yeah, but this is a successful shot, which is why I'm getting rid of 1 of them.
Oh, sorry, I thought there was only 1 on them. My bad.
Cool. Cool. I bet you this Alter Fate is in my hand at the end of the game. That's what I think is going to happen. I've like enough times now. I've had a card like this in my hand and just held it the entire game, being like, something worse is coming, something worse is coming. I'm starting to get good at going like, no, that's just value. Use this like when there's value, but like I trust you that you think there's something much worse in this.
I just know that there are a couple of things in that deck that can kill me or trap me in a location such that I won't be able to get out. And I think it's reasonable for me to say, for the good of the party, I should probably not die. It's not entirely selfish.
One of my aims is, if I've got a spare action after I've killed all these monsters, I'm going to shoot you and then I'm going to leave.
Yeah, sorry, Dexter didn't make it out of Antarctica. It's really cold. It's really cold there. Yeah, I know. I don't think we should retrieve his corpse actually and give him to a coroner. No, it is, as I say, very cold, and probably would be quite miserable to do so. No, leave him in peace. He's in the snow graves.
I feel like you kill someone in Antarctica, come back and be like, yeah, I killed them, but I'm not going to say that on the record. Good luck investigating.
I wonder what the legal situation is if you kill someone. Like, what if you break a law in Antarctica? It's not in any legal jurisdiction, right?
That's a really interesting question. I think we should find out.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that's a very interesting question.
Probably not midstream, but like
not midstream.
As homework to tell people next time.
Okay, that was my turn. You had your turn already, right?
I forgot something on my turn, quite important, which was to do my cool Dexter skateboard trick and use my ability to put the kill spell into play, which I have now done. Have I succeeded? I keep not using the lucky cigarette case. Do you have any idea what I pulled on that evade action?
No clue. Absolutely not a Scooby-Doo, I'm afraid. I would believe you that you've missed it at least once, though. So if you want to draw a card, I would say that's fine.
I think I'm going to at this situation. Yeah. There's a brother to Kelly now. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's the real deal. Okay, cool.
That's actually really useful to have in this situation.
It's so useful to have, yeah.
Shall we upkeep?
Yes. I mean, I'm slightly leery of doing that because a whole load of enemies are going to be ready. But yeah, I think we need to. And there's the Tekeli. There's the Tekeli that we've been looking for.
Enemy phase first, so this manifestation of madness should move. Right?
Yes, it should. Yeah, it and I think it has to join its friend at the treacherous path.
Yes, I think it does as well.
Yeah.
It's still very tight right now. Oh, that's good. That's a pip right there.
We have a route to run away if we need to.
Yeah.
I've taken off Aura and I put it onto Kada. Yeah, although I was just getting a bit sad about not drawing. I think drawing is a bit more of a mixed bag for me than it is for you. Like, I think you can tank most of the Tekeli cards if you really need to. Like, they suck. Like, that isn't the action there. I cannot tank all of them.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that rallies. And let's say, for the sake of argument, engages with me.
I'll take the Seeping Nightmare.
Yeah, I think you should. It is. Would you like to go first?
Sure, I'm mainly just going to shoot this fucking thing.
Yeah, I think you should. Would you like Sleeping Nightmare to be evaded?
Like, possibly, but like either way, I'm gonna start shooting at it. Like, that's the next thing I'm gonna do.
Well, the question is, do you need to do anything? So you've got 1 ammo left in your gun.
Yeah, but if I fail it, I don't use it, so I just start shooting.
After you've used up that ammo in a successful shot, what's the rest of your turn looking like?
I was thinking I might scavenge the gun back into my hand and reinstall it.
Okay, so I think, and my supplementary question is, are you happy for these 2 manifestations of madness, if we really need to come in and both attack you next turn?
Yes. Assuming this goes the way I think it's going to, and I don't have a Sleeping Nightmare in front of me anymore.
Cool.
And I do, like, the other thing I might do is I might kill it, move, and I'd be better off doing it here, wouldn't I? I just need to get the gun back into my hand. I could move so that I don't get attacked by 2 manifestations of madness, but I suppose I need to make sure. The one thing we don't want to happen is for them to come and attack you. This whiteout should be gone.
Yes, correct. Jessica,
Why don't you take your turn first? Or do you think I should do it just in case I somehow miss enough times?
I think
like
we've gotten to
time
have the
story.
mythos phase.
Yeah, we have. Okay. Yeah, we definitely have. All right.
Yeah.
Doom. Encounter. I'm really sorry that's a bad thing to have happened.
Yeah. It's very unpleasant case of wind. Okay. Wow, that is really bad actually. 3 versus 5 versus 3.
I mean, one of these options isn't that bad. Oh shit! No, you need. Yeah, okay.
No, it's bad.
Yeah, it's quite bad.
Do you have any willpower icons you'd like to contribute to this test?
I've literally none. I have.
Okay, that's fine.
1 question mark icon.
That's fine.
Bear in mind, I'm going to get at least 1 clue in the near future. So,
dropping clues
isn't the worst thing. It's not the worst thing.
Okay, so in that case, I'm not going to commit this ethereal slip to the test. And apeirophobia. Yeah, we'll see. So 5 versus 3. It's a skull. Bet that's horrible. Half the shelter. Oh, it's -2.
So you pass.
I pass. Hooray! Cool. Okay. We were planning
depending
our
on
turns.
what happens this turn, I might need to get rid of this copy of Antarctic Wind because you might need to run away, right?
I might need to run away.
And you've got 0 visibility in front of you. I mean, I guess you just spend an extra action, but still.
My plan for this turn, I'm going to get the nonsense and the nightmare exhausted, and then I am going to try and burn the nightmare before you even get to take your turn.
Okay.
And we'll see what happens. But I might, you're right, I might ask you to discard either the wind or the. I mean, I would ask probably the visibility to get discarded. But I'm not going to be moving.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not going to be moving. I will be a bit sad if I should be drawing stuff by. Anyway, never mind. I just said drawing wasn't so great for me. So let's just take this turn. Power word. The skittering nonsense cows. The But it's crowded here, isn't it? The Seeping Nightmare is distracted. That's action 1. Action 2, Azure Flame. And that's from the Seeping Nightmare. 5 versus 3. That's -2, that's success. Okay. 4 damage. Final action, Azure Flame again. On the Seeping Nightmare. Another -2. Okay, that is dead.
Great.
Okay. So that's my turn. If you wouldn't mind dealing with these manifestations of madness.
Yeah, to be honest, I might go in and start wailing on one of them.
Yeah, I think you should.
Uh,
They are bad if they attack you.
They are. Hang on, I need to think first, though. What I might do first is I might investigate real fucking hard and try and succeed by 2 or more, so that I can scavenge a Derringer back.
Yeah.
No, because now I don't have enough actions. If that action succeeds, I don't have enough actions to go and kill a manifestation of madness in 1 turn. Shit, so I need to pick one of those things. How much help do you reckon you can give me killing them next turn? I'm confident of killing 1 this turn.
I can probably do 2 damage to at least one of them. I can move them around in a groovy way.
Cool.
Which may or may not be helpful.
I think we're going to do this, Dave.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just going to say again, I really need to investigate a location with no clues before the end of the scenario. So let's try and plan in me getting to the crash site and using an action at it.
Sure.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Okay, I'm going to fight it, I believe, a 5 versus 3. I think you'll agree that was sick.
I think so, yeah. Ooh, I'm just going to take my test to see if I get rid of the serial visibility.
So.
Wow. Oh, that's rubbish. Not the end of the world, then.
Okay, I'm going to try and use resourceful. I'm going to throw everything at this, and it's going to come in at an 8 versus 3.
You evading?
No, I'm using Zeal.
Yeah, sick the cat on the monster.
Yep. And it's snow tokens, and I think it's just snow tokens and the auto fail that stops me.
Mm-hmm.
What's the tablet do at the moment, actually? Yeah, fine. Cool. Sick. So I'm going to get I could just get the Derringer back.
Yeah.
or do I want to get active desperation back? I arguably only need to land one more blow, and active desperation makes one more blow more likely. Installing the Derringer would cause me to get an attack opportunity. I think I'm going to get active desperation back. I have other ways of getting the Derringer back if I really need to.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Great.
So
that was my turn.
this manifestation of madness is dispatched by a cat.
It is.
Hooray. Cool.
This one's going to attack me, sadly, but that's okay. We are.
Let's engage with you, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, we have 1, 2. We have essentially 2 turns to kill these 2 things, which I think is doable. If nothing really nasty happens, I think we've got this.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. The monster phase?
Just let me. I'm just trying to work out. So we've got 2 turns.
Yeah, because this is going to be on 4. So we've got the whole of the turn where it's on 4, the whole of the turn where it's on 5. It hits 6 and we lose. So
Yeah.
we've got 2 turns.
Right, yeah. Okay.
But we've only got to kill a skittering nonsense and this thing, this manifestation of madness. Admittedly, a lot is riding on this act of desperation hitting monster, but
Yeah, I'm just thinking about my investigation that I need to do and how that's going to work.
yeah.
But I do think we've got this. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Can you kill the skittering nonsense? I know it's going to be like, I genuinely think it might be emotionally difficult for you to do so IRL because it's been really helpful to you, but I think it's time to get rid of it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I can kill it. I think that my path to getting rid of this treachery in my hand involves sending it to the treacherous path and getting it to pick up a clue from the treacherous path, leaving it free of clues for me to investigate.
Okay.
We are getting ahead of ourselves again. Because there's an upkeep phase and a mythos phase to...
Yeah, and it's also like, I know you very much want your experience, but it's also tight whether we even win at this point. Like, a couple of bad pulls can lose us still.
Yeah. You're not wrong, Jessica. In fact, it's often the case. It's so often the case. You're right.
Yeah.
I would rather die without unspeakable oath in my hand and get the experience than successfully leave this scenario alive.
Sure, that I respect that a lot. However, I will also add in that is a decision you are making for both of us. But
no. I'm talking about myself. I mean, I've played this entire, all of our play session this evening. I've been 1 point away from death.
Yeah,
and I've been playing in that vein because I goddamn would like to have some experience. Because otherwise, the tail end of this campaign is going to be really, really tough if I don't start leveling up my deck.
Sure, get your experience. Get your experience then. If you feel that strongly about it, you definitely should. Okay, I've taken my damage and my horror. I'm ready for upkeep. That's really good. That's a really good pull.
Nice. So, we neglecting the mythos phase, which we shouldn't do. It will feel left out, and act up.
Even meaner to us.
Yeah.
Right, so we advanced the agenda. Fine. Okay, so that's an auto fail, right?
Avery Claypool or not? Do you just want to tank it?
I just want to tank it because I really need to kill this thing this turn, and I just take 3 horror, right? Oh no, I take 4 horror.
That's
Fuck's
4.
sake.
Yeah.
That's so many horror. Too many horror.
You can take 8. I think going up to 6 is not the end of the world.
Yeah, all right.
Have you seen what I've pulled, Jessica?
What have you pulled?
I've pulled the we're not actually winning this scenario. Let's get out card.
We won't have time to get out. Like, if that's been pulled, we lost. Like, we can't get to Icebreaker Landing in time. It's 1, 2, 3, and then we don't have the action to leave. That's the situation we're in. So, like, we kill the stuff this turn, which I think we can do, or we lose.
Okay. Can we kill it and I get my investigate?
I don't know, Dave. Like, I would, if we can work out a way to do it, we can try.
Yeah, okay. So that puts us on 5. In a way, I'm glad that we can't run away.
Yeah. Like I say, it's 3 moves to get there, and you can only do it there.
Oh. Can we retcon that you used Alter Fate on one of these 2 treacherous that's in my face?
Well, this should be gone, this Antarctic Wind, right?
I should not have drawn a card at the end of the round if we had not got rid of it.
Okay. Like, as we're never going to draw any more cards now, it does seem like a good time to use it.
I mean, I should probably put this card back in my deck, shouldn't I? As we completely fell to it. It was just a really useful card to have.
No, keep that card. If I'm using that,
okay.
Alter Fate.
Fine. Okay.
You're right. I would if I'd recognize I now have no opportunity to use Alter Fate for the rest of the game, I would have just gotten rid of that. And we kind of need to get rid of it or the thing in front of you anyway, in order to
move and do anything. Yeah, you're right.
Do anything. So it's correct. But
I think it's a legitimate retcon because it's a correct play. Actually, if we sat and talked about the board state and we had talked about using it, I think it's legit. Okay, so that's that part of the headache in front of us dealt with. I can send the skittering nonsense to the treacherous path and have it remove a clue from there. I can move there and investigate there, but those are my 3 actions. I can probably do 1 damage to it testlessly.
So I'm gonna say I think I should go first.
Yes. Oh no, I don't think so.
Why not?
Oh, what you'd kill that, move to me, and then go for the nonsense.
Oh yeah, you need to move the nonsense to me for me to.
Yeah.
Can you do 2 damage to the nonsense this time? Can you kill it on your own?
Yes, but if I do, I can't get my investigate. I don't think, unless.
Well, I mean, if I kill this manifestation of madness, I can then investigate here, and I can get rid of the clue.
That is not. It has to be me who makes an investigate action on a location with no clues on it and succeeds.
Yes, but I can get rid of the one clue that you need to get rid of.
Yeah, okay.
And then you can come and do the investigate action on the no clues. However, you also need to kill the skittering nonsense.
Yeah, okay.
And I reckon the moment you kill the skittering nonsense, the thing ends.
Yes, you're right, yeah.
So that's I don't know exactly how your power word thing works. Whether you can like, it's engaged with you right now as well, isn't it? So you can't just like, could you tank? You can't tank a hit from it.
It would call to card if I do.
And you definitely can't tank 2 hits from it. So
no way.
I
can change places with the manifestation of madness. I don't know whether that's helpful, but I can.
No, that would actually be deeply unhelpful.
Okay, let's not do that.
Oh, that was such a poorly timed ancient evil. It was like, looking at this turn now, I think we can win. But I don't know if we can win and you do your investigate.
Can you kill the manifestation of madness and put 1 pip of damage on the skittering nonsense?
If it's near me, yeah. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
So here's what I propose.
It's not in the same place as me right now.
I'm going to send it over to you.
Mm-hmm.
Using power word.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need it to... and I'll get that clue, right? If it's coming to you, might as well get the clue.
Yep.
Or would you rather it was evaded and you were in charge of getting the clue? No, if I'm going first, I need to get the clue.
Yeah.
It needs to get the clue. So it comes here and it picks up the clue. Right, it's health of 2 and it's a... Yeah, discover 1 clue that's enemy's location with health equal to or higher than its location strat. Okay. Action 1. Action 2, I move here. The skittering nonsense is engage with you.
That's fine.
Action Leslie, I use Dexter's ability to discard the lucky cigarette case and put sword cane into play.
Mm-hmm.
And after it enters play, I can immediately trigger its ability without paying its cost, i.e. I don't have to pay its action cost. So I can fight the skittering nonsense at 5 versus 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I will commit Ethereal Slip to the test, making me 6 versus 2. Draw Frost Token, 5 versus 2. Do we want Avery to cancel this?
I'm just thinking about what my attack on it's gonna look like. My last attack on it is also gonna be 5 versus 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Okay. Let's not. If there's another one, then maybe Avery can cancel it. Okay, so that's a -1, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, shelter value rounded up. Okay, so that's a success.
Okay.
Okay, so 1 damage on that. And then for my last action, I will investigate this location and hopefully succeed.
I'm very happy to give you like all of the cards that would help you. Like, I've got a bunch of cards that I'm just not going to be.
I'm investigating with willpower.
Okie dokie, then I can't.
Thank you for thank you for the thought.
Right, I've just had a bunch of like investigate cards.
Yeah.
clogging up my hand for ages.
Yeah, 5 versus 2. There's a frost token. There's a -1. That's a success. I discard this wretched treachery from my hand. And that is the end of my go. So.
Okay. Okay. All right, a lot riding on this. Shit. No, this is not how I do it. I don't want my first action to be the one that I commit Act of Desperation to.
Because of the quick learner.
So the -1.
Yeah.
So I only need to like punch the skittering horror in the face. I'm going to fight skittering horror at a +0. And like,
could I suggest something for this first action?
Sure, but I don't think it's going to be correct. You're just using zeal on this action.
Yes, with the automatic success.
No, because I discard it.
Okay. You're using zeal for the other turns.
I can use zeal twice this time.
Are you sure?
If zeal is ready, I didn't realize you can only do that if she's ready. Okay, that makes. I think we might have lost in that case.
Okay. Well, let's.
Like when I said, yeah, sure, I can take on the skittering nonsense.
You were expecting to be able to use zeal twice. Yeah.
Use zeal twice. When I didn't get the Derringer back, I was expecting to be able to use zeal twice. Like I've been thinking.
I think it's doable, but you just have to not fail any of the tests. Zeal on the skittering nonsense.
Have you got any advice for how to?
Yeah, zeal on the skittering nonsense.
I definitely shouldn't do that with my first action. My first action, I should just fight it.
If you want, no, because you can use zeal and automatically succeed, which means that you.
This is true, but I can also just take a free action where I could lose, and it's fine for me to lose.
Right, no, that's
0 or
that's a good
+1.
shout. That's a good shout. Yeah.
And then I can still do what you said.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I have absolutely much less chance of punching the manifestation of madness in the face.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I think it's 3 actions, right? One is
assuming I fail one.
Yeah. But the failed one doesn't have an effect. 3 successful actions. One is an attack with zeal. One is a basic fight. And one is the act of desperation. Act of desperation, and that's your 4 damage that needs to be done here.
Yeah. So this is why I think I should try and do the basic fight on the skittering nonsense.
Yep. No. Now that we've talked it through, I completely agree.
Cool. Right. My first attempt at basically fighting this.
Not yet.
Yeah, I think you're right. It means I definitely fail this though, but that's okay. Oh, that's so frustrating because that's like. Okay. Do I lucky rabbit's foot here? That's the question. I have failed.
What's the worst that can happen? Yeah, what's the worst that can happen? Probably a horrible Takelele.
Yeah.
Do you have any other weaknesses in the deck?
Logically, I have one other weakness in the deck, right?
Have you drawn your signature weakness? I can't even remember what it does.
It was the mobster.
No, that's your random basic weakness. Your signature weakness. Yeah, your investigator has a pulled by the mists.
Okay.
Listen,
I think the deck is mostly Takelele cards at this point. I probably shouldn't.
You might get some. Combat pips. There's eight combat pips.
The deck and see what's in it.
Yeah. I can also pull the Arkham DB page up on screen and share it
we
with
do
you.
it like that instead. Because I'm not meant to see the Tequila cards.
Yeah, you're not. I'll just share that with you on Discord, and I'll also pop it up on screen for our viewers.
Yeah, like I'm pretty certain I wasted these neither rain nor snows earlier as well. Like I think one of them went to an auto fail and one of them went to something that like wasn't particularly good. Like they're so powerful, and I'm pretty certain I just like now would be such a good time to have one in hand, and I just don't.
So there's not. So the 2 resourcefuls have gone. There is another act of desperation in there we haven't seen yet, right? The 2 derringers are accounted for. That's 2 combat pips.
I've got an act of desperation in my hand, but like another one wouldn't be that useful because I've not got a thing to use it with.
It would be very useful because it has 2 combat pips on it.
It has 2 combat pips on it. Yeah, sure.
I think that's probably the only card in your deck with combat pips on it, though, that we haven't seen.
And there's a load of Tequila cards and a basic weakness in there. I don't think I should draw.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will insist that we look at it under the scenario, but yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay, this is really hard now.
It's okay. You're lucky.
I am lucky. So 3 versus 2. Nothing I can commit to it that wouldn't be better used somewhere else. Oh my god. Okay. Goodbye skittering nonsense.
Yeah.
You served us extremely well.
Yeah, that little nonsense did us a solid. I think you have to take a Tequila League card. Yeah.
Sure.
I'll do that for you. Shuffles in, right?
Yeah. So act of desperation. So that takes us to 6. 6 versus 2. And we have a lucky in hand. So, and we have Avery Claypool. So the only thing we're like really scared of seeing right now is autofill.
Yes.
That is not an autofail.
That's not.
And that wins us the game because I can get an automatic success.
Ah, yes. 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 Death by cat. Death by cat.
Yes.
Boom.
On the last possible. This is how I like to win, though. On the last possible action before we could lose by throwing a cat at a baddie. That's.
Thank goodness for that. I can't believe that I talked you into us not just running away like last week, and it's actually paid off and hasn't bitten me massively on the ass. And I got rid of that.
Yes.
Can we check what the card is, Jessica, on the top of your deck?
Sure, but bear in mind we shuffled a Tequila League card in, so we don't really.
Oh, we don't really know, do we? Yeah, that's true. You can't look at them.
That was one down.
Yeah. Okay. That means we flip the act. Would you mind doing us the honours?
Sure. Just let the adrenaline settle a little bit. If there are no Eidolon enemies in play, the last of the nightmarish creatures falls, its miasmatic body at once dissolving into inky, primatic liquid and dissipating into wisps of grey mist filled with screaming shapes. Then, silence. go to Resolution 1. I feel really happy about this.
I'm really happy about this. This makes up from all the times I've got beaten in that other wretched scenario. Oh, hang on.
And it's not like we can be like, oh, the deck was really kind to us. That last minute Ancient Evils was fucking horrible.
That was really shit. And I think we had two early
ones.
Early enemies from Bloody Ancient Evils as well. I think both times it landed when we were on one Doom, and that was like two enemies very early on. No, I think we got quite unlucky with our counter deck doors.
Where are we?
Resolution 1.
In cruel, bitter silence, you and your remaining companions trudge onwards. The sun drifts to the horizon but never sets. You have seen no sign of danger for hours, and yet you dare not tarry. Dread compels you on. Only when you're too tired to walk any longer do you finally stop to get your bearings and decide how to proceed. After all, is this even a research expedition any longer? In your campaign log, record the team defeated the hunting creatures. Each investigator earns experience equal to the victory X value of each card in the victory display. Each investigator earns 5 bonus experience as they've gained insight into the entities that dwell in Antarctica. In the expedition team section of the campaign log, record the amount of damage and horror on each partner asset in play. Clean up the game. You will not return to this scenario for the remainder of the campaign.
Hooray!
Proceed to Interlude 1, Restful Night, which I presume we don't do right now, or do we?
We can do if we want to. Do you want to? It's a lot of reading. It's one of those.
A lot of reading, which I think I'd prefer to do at the start of the next one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Rather than starting at 11:15 at night.
Is that the time?
It is.
Well, time flies when you are running away from enemies and fighting the cold.
Yeah.
I'm so glad about this. I really am.
That to me is the quintessential Arkham experience, is to win on your last
absolutely
action.
Yeah from snatching a victory from the jaws of defeat. Poor Takada, do feel a bit bad about the beating she's taken. I think I need to bring some healing in my upgrades.
Yeah, maybe.
Like both of the last two scenarios, I just seem to remember almost all the time being saying that Dexter was very near death.
These are Victory 0, presumably because they don't want them to accidentally get shuffled back into the encounter deck somehow.
Correct, yeah.
Right?
The rules, basically, otherwise, they automatically go into the discard pile.
Yeah.
Right, when you defeat them. So if the encounter deck cycled, you would have them coming back. So Victory 0 is just basically, it's a fancy remove from game for enemies.
Cool, that makes a lot of sense.
But there's a space on the templating for them to write it, so they just do that and don't faff around with any extra text.
Ooh.
Any closing thoughts other than thank fuck for that?
That's a very, very memorable Arkham experience. I had a lot of fun doing it.
My goodness.
I'm not going to lie to you, I was secretly like, you and your fucking experience, Dave, you've doomed us all. But
we did it. That's the flavor of the card. I mean, this is it. Like, so the cards, Unspeakable Oath, Curiosity. It's, the whole thing is that I'm praised by Hasta to investigate stuff to the ruin of myself and my friends.
Yeah.
And amazingly, the card, like so many other cards in this game, just completely embodies the totally weird and freakish theme that it's trying to evoke. But yeah, I agree. I feel that I have been unfairly targeted by that card, in both this game and the last one. Like,
is it not naturally in your deck?
It is naturally in my deck,
but you've drawn it twice, is what you mean.
it's a nasty card to draw in the second half of the campaign.
Yeah, that's true.
Get second half of the scenario, and it's come in the second half of the scenario both times. Is why I feel I've been fairly targeted by it. And both times it's come at when the scenario is at such a frantic tempo that just an extra investigate action is really, really hard.
Yeah, but we managed it.
We did.
We got there just barely. Realizing I'd misunderstood how the cat works was like a real fuck. I thought it was you use it once a turn, and then one turn you can use it twice, and then it's gone forever. But like, it's very cool, that cat. I like that. That's how we won the campaign.
I love that. That's how we won the campaign. You at the very beginning of our XPing up these decks said that you wanted to get the cats because they were cats, and not because you thought they'd be any good. And I said, actually, they're all right. Although I think I did unfairly say that Zeal was the weakest of the three, because not getting extra damage on a fight action does really kind of
crappy.
But it just won us the scenario.
It
just won us the scenario, and you've no idea how happy I felt when you said we've won, just because you successfully got that act of desperation, because it was an automatic success in the final action. We didn't have to take that horrible final action where it was like on a token ball, whether we won this scenario or not.
Yeah.
Like, that was a good feeling. I can forgive Zeal an awful lot of subpar fight actions for how good I felt about that.
But like, I got lucky that turn. Like, I punched the skittering nonsense in the face and like did that successfully. And like, by rights, I shouldn't have managed to do that. I had 2 cracks at it, but still.
You had 2 cracks at you had lucky in your hand.
I did have lucky in my hand. And it turned out I didn't need lucky for anything else. So like,
And that
I was lucky and I had lucky.
You were lucky and you had lucky. And that's why lucky is one of the best cards in the game, is because you can spend for as long as you need to until you need to use it, time lowballing tests and be more confident in them than you have any right to be.
Absolutely. Right. I think we should say goodnight.
I think we should say goodnight. I imagine we will play some Netrunner next week. I think we should hammer out the details. Next week? No, I think you should play some Netrunner next week. Maybe I should as well, but you are going to be twirling your moustache in Barcelona.
Yeah, I'll be twirling my moustache in Barcelona. And then I think we'll see each other on the 19th. Yeah, the 19th. I will be back and we will be available to stream.
That sounds like a day. Yeah, and a Thursday day. Cool. Well, good luck in Worlds.
Yeah.
I guess we'll be streaming Netrunner and talking about Worlds when we next stream.
Yes, that is exactly what we'll be doing. If I'm not so like sick of Netrunner and I never want to see the game again. I'm a little bit concerned by how much Netrunner they expect you to play. To take part in Worlds, they want you to play like 18 games of Netrunner to complete Swiss. And then obviously more if you got into the cut, which I don't expect to. But like, realistically, I think most people will drop after day 1 and not play at all on the second day.
So you have the option not to play day 2 of Swiss if you're low in the ranking. Is that?
I mean, you have the option of stopping playing at any time. Legally they can't force you to keep playing Netrunner.
Even in Barcelona, where they have ways different from our own.
Even in backwards hinterlands of Spain, they still have. It's enshrined in their constitution the right to not play Netrunner. They were very forward thinking.
It is in keeping with their anarchic history. I approve of that.
It was what they overthrew Franco for. Was making people play Netrunner.
Cool. Well, yeah. I think you'll have a great time.
I think I will
I
too. I'm
imagine you'll
really
come
looking
back with
forward to it.
a spring in your step and twirling your moustache, and I look forward to hearing all about
I think
it.
I'll come back with lots of fun, silly stories, and hopefully having met lots of cool, awesome people. I just had like a nice time there. Like I'm actually feeling really liberated that I'm not going with any like aspirations of like I think I could get to day 2 or whatever. Like I don't think I'd have as good a time if that's where I was at.
I reckon.
Or if I'd forced myself over the last month to like really grind, and now I was like, if the way I was thinking about this trip is that like the money and the time and the expense are only worth it if I do well in the competition,
Yeah.
I think that's a really stressful place to be in.
Yeah,
Whereas
for
if I'm
sure.
like, yeah, I'm gonna sit and play like half a dozen games of Netrunner, maybe a bit more, see how I feel, drop when I want to drop. Like I think that's a very different experience.
Yeah, agreed. Cool. Let's say goodnight. Thank you for
Let's say goodnight.
playing Arkham with me. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you had as much fun as I did.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Lots of love. See you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.